a massive. Let's have a look. What we're going to do on the old Guinness thing today, then? Ooh. West Ham and Mastiff, everywhere we go, everywhere we go.
Yo, you hear that? The bone is on fire, dog. I ain't playing with you. Homeboy is lit, 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 lit.
Much love, Peach. Thank you.
Go on, then!
Yo, they talking crazy. We don't even see it. How are you, my love? I'm good. I am.
What's up, my brother? Listen, just giving you a shout real quick. This the last one, you know what I'm saying? The best for last. Young P. Chiavelli, what's going on, brother? Hey, brother, hey. Best for last. Young P. Chiavelli, what's going on, brother? Hey, hey. Y'all heard that we won. What's going on, brother? Hey, I know you the voice of positivity. Young P. Chiavelli, what's going on, brother? Hey, hey.
Oh, shit, lovely girl she is. She is. Yeah, big up, Tina. Big up yourself. All right, done now. Are you in?
Random. Noun. A roving motion, course without definite direction, lack of rule or method, chance. Random. Adjective. Having unpredictable outcomes and, in the ideal case, all out.
Like, what is the ideal pace, dog? Honestly, like, you tell me what the ideal pace is, dog. Is it like Usain Bolt pace? Is it like Ryan Fredericks pace? Is it like Wally World pace? Is it like Ben Johnson pace? But not the Ben Johnson we got. The Ben Johnson from like Canada who won like the 100-meter dash. You know what I'm saying? Like Donovan Bailey ran them things too, dog. But it's like, yo, homeboy got. No, homeboy run that, and he ran that. But it's like Ben Johnson ran that, but he was on like anabolic or amabolic steroids or something. Like, you're not telling me these like snowboarders that got done for like bunning weed, like same things. You're not telling me like Carl Lewis, like never did no like enhancing things to like make him try to be a gazelle when he was like a giraffe. Like, real plays, man. It's madness. It's madness, man. I don't know. Move on to two things, Doc. Move on to two things. Yo, Peach is walking in the park. Look at that sky. That's what I'm talking about, Doc. The sky is madness. That's wicked. Like, yo, this is what I'm dealing with, Doc. Like, yo, and it's hot. Hotter, hotter. Stop your hot water. MC's trying to pull off like they big game shotters. You know what I mean? They ain't big game shotters. West Ham are big game shotters, dog. Like, I just looked at the table, dog. I was under the impression that no matter what happened to Manchester United, we beat Brighton, we're in Europa. It's not the case. That's not the case. Because they'd end up with 61 points. We'd end up with like, what, 50? No, not 50. My bad. We'd end up with like 59. So just like last season, we missed like Champions League by 3 points. We could miss Europa by 3 points this season. But I don't give two things, dog. We're going on a European tour regardless. But I don't want to be in like the cornflake like European Conference League, dog. That whole word conference don't sit right with me, man. I just think about you know what I mean? Like the conference league teams. Like I'm a Dagenham and Redbridge, they were in the conference league, dog. Like Yeovil, they ran conference league, dog. Like I wanna be in them places then. I wanna be in Europa, man. Like honestly, man. It's like, yo, we beat Brighton and then we gotta hope that Vieira does two things against United, and I think he will. Who the are Manchester United? You get me? Exactly. Who are they? They're nobody. They're nobody. They don't got the same build up that they had when like Ferguson was in charge with Scholes, Giggs, Nicky Butt. I never even rated Nicky Butt, but like, yo, he's better than what they got right now. You know what I mean? Fred, Nicky Butt? No, Regin. I take Nicky Butt all day long, dog. And then Rude Van Nistelrooy. Remember Rude Van Nistelrooy, dog? He was fire. Absolute fire, dog. I ain't playing, man. Yo, okay, so this is it. The man them's in the building, yeah, and I don't know how to pronounce his name because like he kind of did the exact same thing I did, and we probably did the same thing that we both did at the same time. Cause like my name is Matthew Wren, right? So like my initials are MW. So I spelled my name EM like for my Hotmail account. I spelled it like DOUBLEU, so it spells like MW at hotmail.com. Great minds think alike. Because, like, Lucas from American Hammer Network, or American Hammers Network, American Hammer TV, big up American Hammers TV, big up Lee, Wally World, KDK, Lucas, Tim, all the man, Seth, is it Seth or Sully? I get it mixed, dog. I get it mixed. I get it mixed, Doc. I get it mixed because one of the man them's on West Ham Network. The next man them is on whatchamacallit, American Hammers TV or American Hammers like network. I always get it mixed, Doc. It's because it starts with a C and an E. And yo, she got a nice body, Doc. Real talk. It might be like good from far and far from good, but she looks fine to me just now, Doc. Like real things. Real things, man. I ain't even playing with you. Like, I seen this one gal in the grocery store in the Dunya. Brethren, I should have talked to that gal because she was giving me eyes. And it was like, I just was like on the prize of getting like two things of asparagus and two things of like sweet potatoes and then some ciders. And then what else did I get? I got ciders. I got, oh, and gravy for the chicken and chips tonight, Doc. How you mean? Big up the chicken and chips, Doc. This car's rolling way too fast. Like wants to hit me, Doc. Like, sorry, didn't mean for that to happen, but I was trying to like mark you. Go ahead, Reggie. Yeah. That's the car, Doc. If you can see that. It was like white Honda something. What's up, my man? Nah, good. Yeah, so just chilling. Talked to Wally World today, which was dope. Big up Wally World. Big up Wally World. He's a gentleman, man. Talked to Lawrence Watkins the other night. Wicked. Like, yo, brand new things. How you mean? Um, Yeah, so like we're after this player. I know it's all about like prospects and players and this and that, but it's interesting, and it's like who are we going to get to fill the holes that we have in our current team right now? And there's this player, Doc. Yo, I got no background behind me. I just realized that I got no background behind me, Doc. Hold on, let me put like let's not put this. Yeah, that looks dope. Put that. No, but then it's black in it. So black, black. What? Peaches in the building. How do you mean? Peaches in the building. Rah, rah, rah. Chicka, chicka, chicka. La, la, la. Hold on. Let me dip into the comments straight up. Hold up. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Bing, bang, bosh. There you go. Hammerhead. Way. Oi, oi. Plum. I get you. See, my new name is like Plum Papaya Peach. Like, straight up. Yo, that looks like a dope house, doesn't it? Like straight up. Hold on, can you see it? That looks like a dope house. Like it's just like it's like a little cabin, dog. Like in the middle of the city, dog. Just like a little cabin with stairs. Like look at the stairs, dog. Stairs are tidy, man. Like yo, I wouldn't mind moving into. I used to have a brethren that lived in this case, like with this gal. And I ain't saying no names, but like, cause I ain't putting nobody on blast. But it's like, yo, this place looks dope, and it's number 17. I like number 17, Doug. I like number 3. That's my favorite number. I like 5, and I like 17, Doug. 3, 5, and 17. And then my birthday's on the 10th, so I gotta love that. And then I was born at 420, which was weird. And then I ran at, JJ from the Dough Box. Her man, them there. He was born on April 20th, Doug. So that's like real 420 things. I was born April 20th, but like at 420. You get what I'm saying? Real things. Anyways, there was a man them in the live chat. No, not in the live chat. In the green room still, man. But I did my like million-hour intro, and homeboy was probably like, "Fuck off!" He's like, "Yo, taking too long." But please come back. Please come back, guys. Please come back, cause like, yo, this man's a legend. And I don't. This is what I was saying before. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Because he did the same thing with me on the email thing where I got MW and he has LUCIS. Is that how you say his name? Like LUCIS? Or like LCS? Like, because I know Homeboy's Croatian, I think, or background of Croatian. Is that how you say the name? There's my mom and dad. Is it? No, it's not. What up? No, it's not. Somebody different, but they drove like similar car things still. So I thought I was gonna be able to big them up and put them on camera, but my mom might have to go to the hospital tonight. It's messed up. It's messed up. I don't know what it's all about, but like she's good. Don't get me wrong. But she's been feeling like a bit like she ain't been herself like in the last couple of days, man. She ain't been feeling well, and it's all stupid fucking cancer, dog. Like yo, the radiation and chemotherapy mucked her up more than the flipping cancer did that. And it's like, yo, she ain't been feeling right. Like, it's weird, man. It's like, it's not good to see because my mom's a lovely, like, happy individual, like, positive, all them things. Like, that's my mom, like, you get what I'm saying? But it's like, it's weird the last couple of days, man. She ain't been feeling right, man. And yeah, she got to go to the doctor like just now, and then hopefully, like I don't know. Excuse me. They're talking about I taking her up to the hospital, but hopefully that don't go on. That don't go on. Hopefully, man. Life. It's a funny thing, isn't it? It's so fragile. Life, man. Life is so sorry to be like so like man, but so fragile sometimes, dog. Like real things, man. Real things. Mad man, life is wicked, but then life is like wicked. Like life is like wicked good, but then life is like wicked shit. Yo, okay, we got the man. I'm in the building. We do have like these are two legends, dog. These are two legends that nobody can tell me different about because they're two legends. One is from American Hammers Television. What up, my G? You all right? Yo, what you got there? Skip the dishes. Yo, that's probably for me, dog. I don't know. Find out, my G. I didn't order nothing from Skip the Dishes. I was just trying to get some free food, real talk. But yo, hold on. We got two legends up in the building. One's from American Hammers TV, American Hammers Network. The next is from Green Street Elite. If you don't know about Green Street Elite, you're stupid. If you don't know about American Hammers Network, you're stupid. And these two boys, they were chilling yesterday, dog. Straight up. So I'm bringing them in at the same blood fucking cock clot time, dog. How you mean? Yo, what's up, boys?
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi, Savaloy. What are you saying, my G?
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing still.
Oh, I can imagine.
Buzzing.
I can imagine.
Fucking.
I
Did you
could
catch
imagine.
that picture that I sent you earlier?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I sent it to you. If you wish to broadcast it, you may.
Oh, you're a gem. For real?
Yeah, for real. Put it on. This
Nice
just
one.
goes to show you how close I was to the action, my friend. Lucas,
You know what?
how are you?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
How are we?
Oh, I'm still buzzing, man. What about you?
Oh, I am so fucking happy Arsenal lost. Literally, this feels like Christmas.
I was in the pub playing darts, and it was great. I fucking lost my darts match because I was so popped.
Well,
Great.
this is honestly got easy. Top 5 greatest non-West Ham moments for me. This is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This would be the perfect. This would be the perfect scenario. Let me look at the table real quick just to make sure I don't make myself look like a fool. Unlike Arsenal fans, they just fucking chat shit endlessly. Okay, then never mind. I was gonna say nothing would be more good on this earth than if Tottenham lost to Norwich and Arsenal beat Everton, but it still wasn't good enough. But Tottenham are 2 points ahead, so
Yeah, no, we need to win. Tottenham need to lose, and so do Arsenal, for us to get 6th.
well, no, we need Man U to not win.
Oh, sorry, Man U, not Tottenham. Sorry, Man U. Man U and Arsenal, we need to lose.
Let me tell you. I know we've talked about it quite a lot in the chat.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, fucking I cannot stand Arsenal support this season. They have been fucking over the top, absolutely shameless, vigilant.
Please, Lucas, tell us what they were saying about Bayaku Saka or
Oh
Saka
my goodness. It's
compared
honestly,
to Jared Bowen.
no, and mind you, I'm not a stats guy, really. Like I think stats
I know.
the story.
But let me tell you, Craig Dawson has done better than Bukayo Saka this year.
They were also saying that even though Jared Bowen has better stats, he doesn't pass the eye test like Bukayo Saka does. Like, give me
the eye test
break.
What the hell is the eye test?
I mean, they're honestly just such a shameless bunch. It's embarrassing.
Oh no!
Again, I'm not.
They can't even fucking sing. I asked 3 different Arsenal fans tonight for a song that we could sing in the pub, and not one of them could give me a song to sing.
They're all plastic.
In the end, I just
stood up and started shouting out,
"Go Arsenal! Go Arsenal!"
They're all either plastics or older shameless fans that literally can't let go of the Invincibles, and they still look at Arsenal the same way they looked at them when they were the Invincibles, and it's disgusting. And don't get me wrong, I hate Tottenham, but Tottenham at least they don't feel entitled every single year to be in Champions League.
No, you're right. You're right. They don't.
Arsenal, they think it should just be given to them just because they're Arsenal. Like who the fuck is Arsenal?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's the Invincibles. Like fuck off.
Yeah, do you know something? I have to be honest here now. I'm a West Ham fan through and through, as you know. I've been West Ham fan since 1966, 67. But we as a fan base, we do kind of hold on to the World Cup win, and you know, we kind of hold on to that.
I find that more as
75 and the 80.
I just find that more like a troll a little bit, like a sarcastic. Like
Pete, I'm getting loads of feedback, mate.
I don't know who it's on.
That sounds better.
Okay. See, like with that kind of stuff, I feel like we're just on the World Cup thing. I think that's just a sarcastic hill that we die on. Like it's like one of those we don't care.
It's typically West Ham, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's typically West Ham.
It is literally the same thing as the West Ham or Massive chant. It's a sarcastic hill that we will die on because we can. We're West Ham. And I don't mean that in an entitled way or we're better than anyone, but I mean, we're just West Ham. But Arsenal, I literally was in a Spaces today that I linked you. An Arsenal fan, literally. So there was like a bunch of them talking, and they're like, we got too cocky, yada, yada, yada. This one guy, I'm not even kidding you, had the absolute nerve, to tweet, and I quote, let me just make sure I get this right because I really do not want to mess up this quote. He goes, come on. Where is it? Okay, verbatim. He basically said that Arsenal had the right, or them as a fan base, said that we have the right to be cocky because we were 4 points clear in fourth. And I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, James.
Howdy, gentlemen. Lucas, brother. I mean, what's going on? You're fucking immigrated, aren't you? What's going on?
I'm voicing my recent pleasures over Arteta and the boys.
Oh, I've just been on an Arsenal channel, mate, and they're all going berserk, mate. It is lovely to see.
James, it's great, isn't it? It is literally great. I love it.
Declan Rice joined that Spaces. Rashane Thomas joined the Spaces. It was absolutely mental. This Arsenal Spaces, they were literally going absolutely berserk.
They were saying about changing the manager, and I mentioned a couple of good managers. I mentioned Harry Redknapp, Sam Allardyce, Pardew. Who else was it? Avren Grant.
It's just been absolutely amazing. Literally, I just finished telling Pudgy there was a guy in there that was saying that Arsenal had the right to be cocky about making Champions League because they were 4 points clear of Champions League, and I fucking lost it laughing. And that just really sums up the fan base. Like, it's just so disgusting and arrogant. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, don't get me wrong, I hate Tottenham. I really do with all my heart. But they just don't have, in my opinion, they don't have the entitlement that Arsenal think they have. And I just don't understand where it comes from. It because Arsenal nowadays is either a bunch of plastic fans or it's older fans or supporters that just latch on to the Invincibles when it's like you are not that Arsenal anymore and you're never going to be probably. Like, I don't understand where this cockiness comes from.
Anyway, let's get back to yesterday's game. What was your overriding thought, James, on yesterday's game?
Tale of two halves, wasn't it? First half, we was immense. And
Yeah.
second half, they were for 25 minutes of that second half. City were very good, very good, extremely
They
good.
were the City we all expected to be.
Yeah, but we scored the goals at the right times, though, didn't we? Like we was under it and we scored, and they come forward and we scored again. So, we didn't deserve to lose yesterday. I think if we had lost, we would have been gutted, all of us. So
Yeah, I think we would have
fair
been hard
result.
done by if we'd have lost that game yesterday. I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, I
I
believe
don't
that.
like boasting about my predictions, but I did predict a draw for
You
reasoning.
did. You did, and I believe you said 2-2 as well.
I said 1-1, but I mean,
Oh,
draw is a draw. But
I know Kieran that said 2-2, wasn't it?
But even though or not Arteta, I still can't get over how happy I am about that result. But Pep rotated like I knew he would. I didn't say that he was going to do a full rotation, but I mean he rotated Foden, Diaz,
Sterling didn't
Gundogan
start.
didn't play, did he?
Sterling didn't start.
Yep. I mean, and obviously, don't get me wrong. That's still the team they put out against us was still so good. I mean, their bench could easily finish.
Brilliant. But in the first half, didn't you find that because we allowed them, what was it, 67 or so % possession, they felt comfortable in the game, which was when we struck. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
I think we played.
It was like going for the juggler. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah, I thought we played. I thought we played really well for obviously who we were up against, and I think we executed our game plan. I mean, Jared Bone was just different fucking gravy yesterday. Like, I mean, the timing on his runs could not have been more perfect. And that Pablo Fornals pass for the first goal was fucking brilliant.
Oh gosh, he
Time
seems to thrive on those passes.
And then Antonio's assist was really, really good too. I thought Antonio, for under the circumstances, had a very good game.
Yeah,
I've got to be honest, Lou, because I disagree with you on that, mate. On the Antonio assist, I've got to, mate. It's. I think Bowen makes the goal more than he passes it. I think the pass is bad.
I don't think the pass
Bowen done all the hard work, but Antonio made it a little easier for him with the assist. That's what it was, really, in truth. And do you know something? I have to say that I was really surprised that he didn't bring on what's his face, Ben Rama.
Ben Rama weren't even in the starting 16, mate, or 18, or what it is. He wasn't even in the squad.
He weren't even on the bench.
No, he was on the bench watching from Instagram. That's about it.
Really?
Yeah, so he was out.
That surprised me because I thought he would have been quite useful yesterday. With his trickiness and the speed and ability that he has got, he would have been useful yesterday. He may have even been having to fucking scrape a win out if he'd have been playing.
I thought Antonio was
because the way he's been playing recently, and I've been critical of him in the past, but the way he's been playing recently is more the kind of player that I've wanted all season. I'm not saying he's been bad this season because he ain't. He's had one or two bad games, one or two bad games. Then so have other players. And, there's more of them than I care to list. But I felt that yesterday's game was perfect for him, especially from like 65 minutes onwards when City started taking control of the game. I thought that was when Ben Rama would have been at his best for us, if I'm honest. Because he would have been able to get that ball in. I mean, look at some of the assists that he's had this year. He's been really, really good with the assists.
For me, I just don't think Fornals and Lanzini can play together in the same team. I think they're too similar. That's the thing. That's the one thing we do lack. We lack pace on the break. Yeah, Antonio's fast and Bowen's fast. But that's all we've got, really. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If they get man marked, it did help that they had Fernandinho in the defence, I must admit. Yeah. And he was getting bullied left, right, and centre. But I'll tell you what, Anthony Taylor, mate, fucking one of the worst refs I've ever seen in my life.
Fucking terrible.
That was bad. That was as bad as the
And
the,
granted,
the ref we had in the European game.
granted,
It was one of the worst things
said,
ever.
you could have said that
Yeah.
the game should have finished 2-2 because of Mahrez missing his penalty. But I mean, Anthony Taylor's god fucking awful again.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, and don't get me wrong.
You know, but the thing is, though, he is from Manchester.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that because that's just I don't even know what that is. That's literally, it's not corruption, but it's as close as you can fucking get to like. I mean, what are we supposed to think after that?
I thought it was terrible, mate.
What are you supposed to think?
I thought it was one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen in the Premier League for ages. This is the same. Don't forget, it's the same Taylor that sent off Cow at Arsenal. Remember, and for a penalty that really wasn't a penalty. He got the ball, he went through the man. So yeah, and it's Taylor shit, mate.
I don't know. The Premier League and the refs are just so fucking weird. Like, I don't know what Antonio has to do nowadays to get a fucking foul. I really don't, because I genuinely believe I don't think he really rarely makes a meal out of anything. Because I mean,
what he has to do, he has to lose about 5 stone and about 5 inches on his height, and about 5 inches on his biceps and thighs and stuff, and then he might get 1 or 2. But because he's such a big guy, referees just overlook him getting taken out. It's ridiculous. And that Anthony Taylor ain't the only one guilty of it either.
no,
I mean, we've had. I can probably, if I was to scroll through YouTube, I could probably get up video clips of about 4 occasions this season where Antonio has been taken out and the referees allowed play to go on. And similarly with Ben Rama and with Fornals, we're just not getting decisions. And I'm not going to stand here and sit here and say it's corruption, but I'm telling you what, there is definitely some kind of bias in the refereeing community towards, and it ain't just West Ham that suffer it either. I mean, you look at that game with, was it Palace when they played City? There was a penalty. They didn't get it.
the only decision I thought that was correct yesterday was the penalty.
But even that he didn't get right, though, did he? Let's be honest, he got that wrong. So, do you know what I mean? He didn't even give the penalty. It was VAR give it. I thought he was terrible, mate. You know what I mean? And I'm not really one to knock the refs. Right, I usually leave the ref till last. I usually go after the players first.
I hate putting the blame on them, but like I can't. When I call it like I see it. If you fucking suck, player, ref in general, if you fucking suck, you're catching my wrath 1,000%.
Yeah. What it is, you can't put all the blame on the ref first. You have to look at the players, then the manager, and then the ref. But for me, yesterday, it was all on the ref for me. Do you know what I mean? It was just the referee was just terrible.
That foul that led to the
I believe that the refereeing was as poor as it was for the real game, which cost us the game. Cost us that particular game. Hey?
I mean, that guy was a legit criminal. So
yeah, and I think yesterday was a criminal performance from the referee. It was criminal. I mean, there is nothing. Listen, if I was going to be rating him, he wouldn't get anywhere near a 4. Do you know what I mean?
I rated him on my channel, mate. I'll give him a 1. And that's for turning up.
That's what I'm saying, James. He wouldn't get anywhere near a 4.
I'm going to give him the traditional James Fever 2 out of 10 because he put his boots and his socks on.
That's it. I'll give him a 1 because he turned up, mate. I didn't even give him. I thought it was one of the worst decisions.
I can't give him a 3 because he can't do his hair.
Because I can't remember a decision he really gave West Ham. everything was hard. Like I think even Lanzini got taken out by Rodri halfway through that game, and it was a blatant foul, right? And he just goes play on. I'm like, mate, you are just.
I think my
Like,
highlight of the match, besides Bowen getting his brace, was when. And don't get me wrong, I love KDB. I think he's arguably the best midfield in the world. But when fucking Craig Dawson just laid him out in open field, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And you know, it was like moving on slightly. The game and sort of kind of changed, and the mood lifted in the team once Noble walked in. You know, I felt that. I'm not saying we played better because the performance level was probably very similar to what it was
when Noble came on, or was it 2-2 before that?
It was 2 I think. Was it 2?
Yeah,
I think it was.
once he came on, I felt that, you know, like the team felt like they had a second wind, as it were. You know, well, listen, City could quite easily have embarrassed us in that second half. They had a penalty which Fabianski saved. You know, they had a few other chances that were very narrow, wide and stuff.
I don't know though. I don't know because I think Antonio goes through. Antonio gets a golden chance. If he puts that away, that's 3-1 to us. I think that's game over.
I'm not a fan of the chip attempt.
That's very true, James. That's very true.
Outside the box.
I had forgotten about that opportunity. I've got to be honest.
And real quick, I'm looking back at the stats, and this is unbelievable because it did not feel like this at the match. They had 78% possession.
Yeah, but do you know what though? It's something what James. It's saying what. You know, but it's saying what James just said in the chat, yeah, which I do make him right on this. They can have all the ball, but look at the goals they actually scored. A deflected one and an OG. Like you can have all the ball, but if you're doing nothing with it, then.
Oh no, I totally agree. I am 1,000% in that camp.
Do you know what I mean? I just think that's a golden chance from Antonio. Like Antonio breaks the line, gets in front. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and let's be honest, I think every West Ham fan had no confidence that he was going to score from there. Not one bit. So
it's weird because normally his go-to is to go around the keeper, and then like the one chance he gets to do that in a, I wouldn't say it was a favorable position because he is like on the edge of the box.
I don't know, Lucas. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. The defender's quite far away from him. Like he could at least got it on target. Let's put it like that.
Yeah,
he could at least got something on target.
I think he was obviously in the middle of the pitch. I think he scores that, but it is I would say it's a tricky position to try and go around. But I like I said, I thought that's what he would have done because that's what he normally does. Tries to go around, but that fucking chip. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but he fucking went.
But Bowen seems to be mastering that art right now, doesn't he?
He is so.
That first goal of his.
I honestly
have you watched it back, Lucas?
Yeah, I did.
What an angle!
Yeah, you know, I honestly kind of hope he doesn't get called up for England, so I can just keep hashtagging "Too Good for England." That would be a fucking crime, and I don't even really support England. I mean, the only way I support England is if a West Ham player goes through like I'll watch England for Declan Rice. That's about it. But if we have Declan Rice and Bowen, I would maybe cheer for him a little bit. But not too fussed with Bowen going to England because usually bad things happen for us.
Yeah,
injury-wise, knock on wood.
I thought he was excellent. This is Bowen. Listen, I've followed Bowen for quite a long time even before West Ham. I remember him at Hull, and when he's in that one-on-one position, the geezer just don't miss. He very rarely misses, or he always seems to hit the target. At the start of the season,
so good at getting around the keeper too, underratedly.
At the start of the season, he was missing chances and chances, and I think we all agreed that if he can just start taking them chances, he's going to turn into a top quality player. And I think He's met a bird, right? She's sorting him out, and he's sorting himself out, and everyone's a winner. Do you know what I mean?
I think, James, the word you're looking for is confidence.
Mm.
Because he's gained a lot of confidence this season, hasn't he? Let's be fair.
I think he's always been a confident player because even when he was at Hull, he was banging goals in left, right, and centre.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when he first broke into the team, you know, he's a junior player, even though he might not be the youngest, he's still a junior player as far as
Premier League experience.
Yeah. So, you know, he's got to build his confidence and be a part of that team.
And
and the likes of Declan Rice and Mark Noble and Kevin Nolan and even, David Moyes to some degree have all made him feel like a part of a machine. You know, he's one cog in that machine. And he rotates beautifully now. You know, he's found his mark in the squad.
That reminds me of Roshane Thomas, the correspondent for West Ham at the Athletic. He had an article today, basically, like all of Mark Noble's childhood friends and like some managers, some players giving him a farewell message. And what you just said reminded me of what one of his teammates said. I can't remember which one it was, but Mark Noble basically told him, "You're one of us now," and he said like he's never been that invited into a club, being told you're one of us now. And I think Jared Bowen might have finally. I don't want to say felt that, but I think he's finally one of us now.
Probably clicked now. You know, you once you know.
Oh, he's due for another 5 years. Danny Dyer, both of them will not be too pleased if he moves.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that once a player does find his feet, generally you find them, becoming the player that you hope they would be when they first arrived. I mean, look, you look at Antonio when he first came to the club. He was all right. He was good. He was okay, but he was a defender. He was a whatever. You know, he never really found his
whatever
you
wanted him to be, he would be.
Yeah, he never really found his niche, and then all of a sudden, he starts popping up and scoring from different, but getting into sort of like strikers' positions, and then and then over a period of some time, he starts getting used as a forward. Let's not call him a striker because that's not what he's used as. He's used as a forward, an attacking player. But so he's kind of found his niche. I don't think that like the players like Fornals or Ben Rama have really found their niche. Obviously, Souček and Rice have both found their niche. Although Souček is prone to a pretty poor game at times.
Yeah, I think
by comparison to last season, anyway.
I think next season with Souček and Soufal will finally have a confirmation on. Or
now,
not confirmation.
Can I tell you something? You know the Soufal own goal at the weekend yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know that's his first shot on target ever?
Oh my! But this is what
I couldn't resist that
talk about enough. I think everyone can agree Declan Rice put in a fucking.
Hey, get yourself back in the room, man. We want to talk to you now.
We could probably all agree from yesterday that Declan Rice put in an absolute world-class
performance.
But I don't think anyone's talking enough about how he absolutely pocketed Kevin De Bruyne.
And then at the end of the game, after all said and done, we've got a point from Man City, which is bloody not easy.
I'm sorry again. I don't think Rodri's a scrub by any means, but I do not understand the hype with Rodri. There is literally zero. There is zero chance he's better than Declan Rice. It's just impossible.
Oh, he's a good player, mate. He's a good player, Lucas.
From what I saw yesterday, I just don't think he's
Yeah,
better
but
than.
yesterday weren't one of his better games, though. In
Yeah,
fairness,
but you can't say that about yesterday because Kevin De Bruyne on Wednesday night or Thursday night scored 4.
yeah. And then yesterday got completely played out of the game. Really,
You know who I thought was really fucking good? Bernardo Silva. He is a player. He is so good.
he is.
And like I
He
said,
wasn't great yesterday, though, was he?
I don't think Rodri's a scrub by any means. I think he's a good player, but I just will not confirm to the fact that he's better than Declan Rice. I just won't.
For me, he's another player like Pogba. You know, I don't like Pogba, and I don't rate Pogba, but I know he's got like a lot of talent in him. You know, I think the same might be said for Rodri. You know, I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly think he's that good a player. But then I don't watch him week in and week out. There are many, many supporters from other clubs that go, is Declan Rice really that good, though, mate? And then it's not until they play their team and they see what Declan Rice does in that game, and then they go, oh, he was all right, wasn't he? You know, he was pretty
My
decent.
problem is that all the people that talk about Declan Rice not being that good, they don't watch. They only watch their club and the top four. They don't watch football. They only watch that specific type.
Yeah, but ever since England, though, mate, he has changed a lot of people's opinions. But England
Yeah,
2020 was
true,
massive.
Yeah.
So he's and that's on an international stage. That ain't really for West Ham. Problem is with Declan is we all know how good Declan is, but he's better as a DM, not going forward. Right? I don't really want Declan going forward. Like yesterday, it proved it yesterday with the way he handled De Bruyne. To be honest, Declan sits there.
But you still got to have that bit where he drives forward, though, James.
I think if you, me personally, if you was to change Souček and put Calvin Phillips in there or a Basuma next to him, then for me, Declan can do that. I just don't. I think Declan's top class at DM, but you can't have it both ways. You can't have him as a DM and then going forward and coming back. He's just
the only way that'll happen.
You can't do it all.
If you get Calvin Phillips or you move to a midfield 3. That's the only way.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing is, though, I mean, with respect, I have to sort of kind of disagree with that because I think that part of Declan Rice's best game is when he's playing the defensive midfield role and then he'll intercept a ball and he'll drive it through to the 18-yard box and then lay it off to somebody. I think that's one of the most important parts of Declan's game. Because although he's not the fastest runner in the world, he's pretty skillful with his feet. He kind of reads where tackles are going to come in from.
He's an underratedly strong.
He's got the ability and the skill to get around players, and he's got the legs to get around them himself.
Yeah, but what would you prefer him to?
Many times this season, James. That's what, and it's been integral to certain parts of our game. And for me, I think if we cut that off of him, we're going to lose some of our offensive bite. That's all I say.
I don't know. I look at it like that. What's his better position, going forward or defend or sitting there in front of the back four? For me, he's as a DM, he's one of the best in the league. As an attacking midfielder, I just don't see it. I think he's good going forward, but I don't think he doesn't score enough goals. He doesn't create enough goals from an attacking midfield type position. Do you know what I mean? So
that's
I'd rather have him.
4-3-3.
I don't know about the creating of goals. I mean, he might not get a whole list of assists, but if you were to have a system of pre-assist and pre-assist,
in America,
I bet he's high up on that list, or either of those lists. Because let's be honest,
DM.
Eh?
I just think as a DM, like if someone was going to buy Declan Rice, right? If someone was going to buy
that because of the way he can read a game with his interception rate and the ability that he's got to get the ball to the edge of the 18-yard box. You can't stop the man from doing that. That is, I mean, he doesn't do it every 5 minutes, James. You know what I mean? He'd probably do that 2, maybe 3 times in a game.
This is the difference, though. If we had a different player instead of Suchek, like a Basuma, then he could do that. I just don't think he can do it with Suchek next to him. Suchek doesn't.
And it all depends on, because, I mean, we haven't run a 4-2-3-1 all season long. We've probably rotated between 2 to 3 different formations. And that's if you consider our wing backs like 3 in the back, 5 in the back, however you want to say it. But, like, I still don't think Moyes knows the best formation yet.
I think he's fallen upon a good formation in 4-3-3. If West Ham was to go 4-3,
that's what I prefer.
Yeah, if West Ham went 4-3-3 next year, Suchek, Rice, and another midfielder, say Fornals, for instance, then I think I'd be quite happy with that. The problem is he don't like playing that way, and that's a major problem for me. Speaking for Benny. Benny's too wide in a 4-2-3-1 system. I've always said that. He's more better as a 4-3-3 inside forward. When he's an inside forward, he's more closer to the goal and he's more effective. Like you want him just outside the 18-yard box, really. You don't want him on the wing because he can't cross. And I will hold my hands up and say that quite openly. Benny's shit at crossing. So I'd rather him be an inside forward where he's got Bowen on the right, him on the left, Antonio through the middle. You've got 3 literally out-and-out people running like close together instead of being spread out.
Either that or the 10 role.
The problem is with the 10 role is he's too weak. That's the only problem with it. Like he gets bullied, Benny. And listen, everyone knows that I'll back Benny up, but even I'll admit that. Do you know what I mean? I think when you play 4-3-3,
I kind of see your point. Yeah, I do.
Like 4-3-3 as an inside forward, I think he needs to be closer to the goal. Right? Not like how many times this season have we seen it? He's on the touch line. Fucking Cresswell's there. Fornals is there. They're playing these poxy triangles. They're going backwards.
In my opinion, is that
I mean that system would have suited, like Lingard more, I suppose, because he was quite used to
what
that
I'm
system.
saying. I think that's part of the problem with why Benrahma had to be wide is because Aaron Cresswell isn't getting forward unless we have possession. Aaron Cresswell's not going to get forward with the ball. So in order for Benrahma to keep playing like the left-sided forward position like you want, James, we need a fullback that can get up the pitch with and without the ball, like routinely.
Yeah.
We have got one, but nobody likes him.
I love him.
I actually like him, but as a defender, he's not all that. We all know that. You can flip a coin 99 times out of 100, and you're going to get the right answer with him. But as a attacking left-sided player, he ain't that bad. He's pretty decent. He's had 1 or 2 strokes of luck, admittedly.
I just think for a long time, left back has been you could literally argue left back has been more of a position of need than striker, honestly. Because
there's no excuse now, though, Lucas. There is literally no excuse this summer to go out and get a left back. Right? And if we don't,
you're right. There is no excuse. Hello, James, by the way.
I will just say everyone. Yeah, Vindal's what we need in this team because he's so pacey down the left and he works well with the left winger. I think we need to change we don't really need to change our time left wing, but we need another component to it. Like not left wing, but left hand side of the field. We need another left back because Vindal would be the ticket and he's got like an €8 million release clause.
Where's he from? Is it AZ, is it?
Yeah, he's
AZ, yeah. Listen, I don't like to knock Cresswell because he's been a loyal servant to West Ham, but I do think sometimes when we play a 4-2-3-1, I think Pablo's over there to back up Cresswell because Cresswell isn't a good defender, in my opinion.
I don't see him defend.
Yeah, I think he's good at passing. I think he's good at crossing. I think he's good at set pieces. But against pace, we all know that Cresswell gets absolutely steamrolled all the
And
time.
there's nothing wrong with, because I feel the same with Fabianski. Like there's nothing wrong with being a very good backup option. Like Aaron Cresswell, if you put him up against, like in quotes, all the backup left backs in the league that do not start week in week out, he would still be towards the top of the list. He
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I just don't think he can start
Yeah, but
any longer.
what it is with the West Ham fan base, Lucas, and probably Budgie, you agree with this. We're very sentimental with our players. Like it's like, oh, he's done great. You can't drop him, right? But
I
what
think
people
that's
got
a
to
load
understand,
of shit.
yeah, you got to look at it and go, well, we can do better than Cresswell. Like we can do better than Antonio and other players. Like, and listen, I'll be the first one to say it. We can do better than Ben Rama. If West Ham was to go out and sign Rafinha from Leeds in the summer, fuck me, Ben Rama can sit on the bench and stay there. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll be openly saying that, especially for Rafinha, because what I've seen of Rafinha this year, I like that kid. But you've got to go up levels. Like you can't just go, oh yeah, because he's been here 10 years or 8 years. It's all good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. 'Cause, I mean, Cresswell still has a good left foot. Left foot. He just cannot get forward, and we need our left back to get forward.
Which is what Windle does.
Mm.
He cuts in. He actually works better with midfielders because he cuts in inadvertently when he dribbles. So he's great letting people create space off the ball.
And the big issue is, like, in my opinion, with every transfer window, is the board acts like we can't upgrade from what we already have, which is
So does
totally fucking false.
Has to, mate.
I think
Well, let me just suggest this then.
Like, I don't
'cause
think it would take much to upgrade on Aaron Cresswell. Is
for the
good as
first
bad
time,
as it may sound.
for the first time in their time as chairman of the board, as it were, Golden Sullivan have just tasted the semi-finals of a major European competition. That's going to tickle their balls, mate. I'm telling you, it is going to tickle their
Let's
balls,
hope.
and they are going to believe that bigger players, better players are now within reach. You know, all right, we're not going to get Mbappe, but there ain't no reason why we can't get a 34-year-old or whatever he is, Lewandowski, for a couple of seasons, or 32-year-old or whatever he is.
I love
There's no
your.
reason why we cannot upgrade.
I agree with the upgrade. I love your optimism, but you know what? It would not surprise me if West Ham just went out and got a load of free transfers this summer. It would not
That's
surprise
going to
me.
happen too, though, James.
the free market's decent.
That is going to happen. You know, I reckon Lingard's incoming. I'm pretty sure of it. He's a free. You know.
Well, let's be honest here. How much should West Ham be spending this summer? For me, West Ham have to be spending about
120 million. I reckon we should be spending.
I said 80 million at least minimum. But for me, Keane Lewis Potter has to come. I think he will come. I think he's a talent.
Ward-Prowse
is a good one, but if I had a choice, I'd go and get Rafinha and Phillips out of Leeds.
Speaking of James Ward-Prowse, this is the tough thing. Don't get me wrong. I fucking rate James Ward-Prowse. He is such a talent. He's so good. Not even talent. He's solidified so good. But if we're gonna keep running a 4-2-3-1, I don't want him to be Declan Rice's partner. Don't get me wrong. He has great work rate.
Who's that? Are you on about Ward-Prowse?
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is with Ward-Prowse, right? I don't want to be negative. He's got a good set piece on him. He's got a good cross on him. But he's got to have more than that, if that makes sense. Because that's no different to Souček.
But I think what I'm basically saying is I would love to have James Ward-Prowse, but if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1, I don't want him being Declan Rice's partner. I think he suits a 4-3-3 a whole lot better. And that's why I was saying earlier with Moyes, it's one of those things that, like, again, I think
we've got to cut out this, though. I think one thing West Ham have got to do next season is they've got to cut out this long balls, holding it up and going wide and crossing balls in. Like, 2 goals yesterday come through the middle of the park. When did West Ham score goals through the middle of the park? Like, never. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what I think it is. Right, I think it's playing chess, not checkers. We got to be a
Yeah.
bit more streetwise in games and knowing what to do if we still stick with the same plan. We got to know what to do when it goes wrong and adapt to it. I go on Peter's show and I say this: I want a psychological team, one that knows what to do without giving too much away to the opposition. So, for example, know your plays, know how you're going to execute it, and then change if you need to. I want a team of players that are smarter rather than.
And we need more utility like players, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree though, James? How many times this year have West Ham overdone it with like sideways and back passing when yesterday we played a ball over the top and Bowen's in straight away, and we should have been doing that more this season.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And look at those cross-field over-the-top balls that Dawson's been playing this season. They've been very effective. You know, out to Benny or out to Fornells or out to whoever's out there. But, you know, we kind of, since the Sam Allardyce era, we kind of tried to reduce the amount of long ball play. You know, we were renowned for it when we were under Allardyce.
I think to answer your question, though, I think Calvin Phillips would be the perfect buy. Like, I don't care if Leeds get relegated or not. I would spend the money on Calvin Phillips because he could be Declan Rice's partner in a 4-2-3-1, or he could play in a 4-3-3. I think he would just be perfect for West Ham. And in my opinion, I think we're in pole position to sign him. He's not going to United.
I think it's a statement of intent, mate. All right, it's a statement of intent if you go out and get either Phillips or Basuma. Get one of them.
I've got a name that I mentioned on my channel that I think would be good for £5 million.
Yeah.
Marcus Antonio plays for Shakhtar because his off the ball work rate and his need to constantly want the ball as soon as he's got it back are kind of what we need. A midfielder that goes forward and then can get off the ball. I remember Souček first came in the first half of his loan spell before he joined permanently. His off the ball work was allowing him to get into chances where he scored goals. Like in that 3-1 win over Watford, he passed the ball, he passed it around to other players, and while that was happening, was able to go straight and then head the ball in. That's the kind of player we also need. I mean, it's hard to say who we can really get, but I'm looking at a lot of midfielders in this scouting stuff I do because I think that's a department that we're going to lose a lot of over the summer.
I think the perfect partner for Declan Rice, and I ain't going to change my view from the beginning of the season. And I know a lot of people say he's not within our reach or whatever, but, you know, or he's too old, or there'll always be a negative reaction to the name I'm going to put forward. And I think Declan Rice's perfect partner would be N'Golo Kante. I don't think there's a better midfielder out there for him.
I mean, in a perfect world, yes.
In a perfect world, yes. Like what Lucas said, but
I don't know. Basuma could do that job though. Basuma's
a proper engine.
Mate, he's very underrated, Basuma. I'm telling you. Like, I rate that kid highly, mate. Even though he's he don't get a lot of mention because he's at Brighton. But he's a very, very, very box to box, hard working, gets stuck in, loves a yellow card. That to me is that's the sort of player you need in there. Do you know what I mean? And then I could, if that happened, then I could sit there and go, I agree with you, Budgie. Yeah, let that go forward, let him do his thing, right, and let him drive from midfield up. I just think if you take Declan out of DM, we need to get someone who's just below Declan as a DM. And I think Basuma's the man for me, or Phillips.
Okay. Yeah,
and they could both.
I see that logic
thing is the versatility. Like, I just don't want to get a guy that can match Declan Rice. Like, yes, that would be the primary focus to bring in one of those two. But if they could also play in a 4-3-3, that'd be absolutely brilliant. To me, that's the only reason why like James Ward-Prowse is very intriguing to me, because I think he would be very good in a 4-3-3, but in a 4-2-3-1, not for me.
Yeah, but the problem is with Ward-Prowse, yeah, is that what else? Like, we see the free kicks. Don't get me wrong; they're amazing. Yeah, the corners are very, very good. But what else does he bring to a team? Like, because if you're looking at it like that, then we're just going to be playing like crosses and long balls, hoping for Suchek. That makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think James Ward-Prowse is more than that, in my opinion. Like I think he's an incredibly unselfish player. Like I think he's going to make the correct pass 90% of the time, even if he has like a shot on, even if he has like he could have a shot on goal. He's going to give the ball up to someone in a better position, better opportunity, which for some odd reason in today's game is a skill when it really shouldn't be. Like there's a lot of selfish players nowadays. That's one reason I like him, and I just think he's more than special or set piece free kick merchant. Not saying that you're saying he is, but like and he has an engine. He's not a great defender,
Yeah,
but
but
like
out of the
engine.
three, though, Lucas, out of the three players that we've mentioned, I would put him third on the list.
Oh no, yeah, same. Again, because I think Basuma and Phillips provide us more versatility, and would be a
Yeah, I
better
agree. Yeah.
partner to Declan. Like in my opinion, and I think most people would agree on this, or actually, that might be premature of me to say, but in my opinion, I would rather us splash, let's say 40 million, 50 million pounds on someone to partner Declan Rice, and then maybe find a because again, there's a lot of free options for strikers out in the summer. Andrea Bellotti, like there is no better time to get a. I'm not calling him class, but he's a very good striker
Yeah,
on a
this
free.
summer, right? I want to see a Jonathan David at this club. That's the
Yes,
man.
Canada.
Do you know what I mean? I
That
just
would be
want
a
to see him
I
at the
great
club.
agree with that
Jonathan
100%,
David.
James.
I'm only saying
What's a
that. I'm only saying
quality
Jonathan
option?
David because I was saying Jonathan David because I live in Canada. But yeah, he's quality. I got to tell you that now. Canadian football team is on the up, and David's one cog in that machine. He's unreal. Everyone loves him.
Who's James? Who's the Besiktas striker? Because he's another one who's a Canadian and he's very good.
Silarin, he's more of a winger, but he plays as a forward mainly.
Yeah, so he'd be ideal for us then because we love a winger. And the way I look at it is that if West Ham spend 45, 50 million, we've got to get over the Haller one. That's one thing we've got to do. We've got to go, you know what, Haller's done now,
Yeah.
right? Let's go out and try and find a striker like an Ivan Toney or Jonathan David or someone of that ilk. Like, we need a striker at this club. There's nothing about it. But the only fear I have is West Ham's going to flood it with wingers and Bowen's going to be a striker when Antonio's not a striker.
And that's another thing too, because I mean, James, you know me. I'm in the same boat as you. I have an absolute bromance with Keen Lewis Potter, but he's not. I'm not going to say it's going to be an exact same situation as Bowen, but like I just can't see him coming in and starting right away or making an immediate impact. It's going to take.
No, I
a
wouldn't
little
expect him to.
time.
I think we do. If we're, I think next week's game is massive, right? Because if we do get Europa League, I think our transfer budget goes to a different level rather than the conference. I think the conference is one budget, and I think Europa League's another.
Excuse to do the bare minimum again.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I'm going to be honest. I feel that they're going to try and just get past this year till 2023, and then they're going to sell Deck, and then that'll be it. I can't see them going out and spending 80, 90 million on 4 or 5 players. I just can't see it. Right, I reckon they will sign King Lewis Potter. I think he's about 80% sure that I'm pretty sure that he will come to West Ham.
I would definitely put money on it if I could.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, might like a championship side.
Yeah. I think there's a few players in the championship. Listen, I think Brennan Johnson at Forest is an absolute talent.
If they don't get up.
If they don't get up, yeah. There's a couple of players at Huddersfield who've gone through tonight. I think they're quite decent.
Lewis O'Brien.
Yeah. Lewis O'Brien, I think he's an absolute talent. Right, and West Ham's been linked with him before.
What about that young Billy Gilmore? I know he's a Chelsea player.
I'll tell you who I would have from Chelsea, but no one's mentioned, is Conor Gallagher.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
that's what it is.
There's also another
Oh,
midfielder,
good
Tino
evening,
Anjori.
Happy Hour. Yeah. Conor Gallagher, he's quality, but Palace ain't going to go down. And if anything, they'll get a permanent deal for him.
If I had to guess this summer, I would reckon we'd be lucky if we, and I'm going to use these keywords. I think we'd be lucky if we bought 3 players, but I think we'll sign 1 or 2 on a free. Like I think.
So how many do you reckon in total?
I think at the absolute most, we'll bring in 5, and that is like.
That's tight, mate.
Top.
I think we need 7, and that's
I agree as well.
And that's being minimum. That's 7 minimum.
I'm not. I think Lingard will come to us, but I'm not going to say I'm confident. I think he will come back. I think we will sign another player on a free. So I think we'll sign 2 on a free, and then hopefully we splash on a striker, and then we'll probably buy like 2 cheapies, or not even cheapies, but then Keane Lewis Potter for 18, 20, whatever. So that would get us to like. 60.
Do you know what I reckon? I was just listening to what I was just thinking of people with the Championship. I think West Ham will sign Areola, sign Keane Lewis Potter, sign Diaz from Blackburn, and then get a couple of free transfers. I cannot see West go that far.
I wouldn't slug off the free market right now. There are actually a lot of good players, but as long as we don't use it en masse, that's all right by me.
But is it in the free market? I get what you're saying, James, but I think if we need a striker at this club who's going to be top quality. Really, if we're going to another level, we need a striker that really comes in for Antonio, rather than Antonio starting every game.
Like Scamacca.
Yeah, listen, Patrick Schick at Leipzig would be ideal for me. Another one. I say Jonathan David. Ivan Toney for me would be another one. I think he's ideal the way he plays.
Ivan Toney would be my dream if we could get a very good
who would be a good
back.
winger.
Very
good. Yo, I'll tell you who will be good from Watford. Tell you Hernandez and Sarr. And Hernandez is a good midfielder. I just think he's been left out in the cold a bit by Watford.
I think if Leeds go down, I would love it if we got Phillips and Rafinha. If we got one of the 2, I'd be very happy. I think if we've got both of them, I think we go to another level.
Phillips would be more likely because I think Rafinha is on his way to Barcelona. But I agree. Calvin Phillips, in my opinion, arguably has to be the number 1 target.
Even
like I said, we are in pole position. He's not going to United. He's not going. If he chose Villa over West Ham, that says everything to me.
Do you know what? Fresh Fielding just makes a good point. I don't agree with what about the player he was replacing, but I do agree with him on what he said. Ryan Kent at Rangers has been absolutely immense for them.
Giannis Hagi.
As well. Play both sides of the wing.
I would have said Glenn Kamara, but the thing is, because of all the racism thing with Sparta and Rangers, I don't think that would go down well.
James Bong, he's just saying that's what he thinks we need. There's no rumors or anything.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think if we want to make the step, the top 4, we have to spend 100.
What James is saying, James asked me a question there. It's about where's the 80 or 90 million coming from. Well, if we finish 6th, I think we get about 120 million, I think, from the Premier League. And that's 120 million or even more than that. I'm not too sure.
That's the 80 million for getting into the semi-final.
Yeah.
What was it? 40 million, wasn't it, for getting into the semi-final?
It's about that, with all the revenue and all that. If West Ham can't find 80 million, and don't forget they didn't spend no money in January, right? Minimum.
Yeah. Rumour is that there was already 80 million in the kitty from January, so.
Yeah.
I just don't.
They probably get 3 or 4 times that to spend, but will they put it forward? No.
Do you know the problem is with it, right? This is the problem that I have at present, is I look at 2023, I look at GSB. Can you really see them spending over 100 million in this window?
Like,
right? Knowing
Yes,
that
I
they're going.
can. Providing David Moyes is prepared to spend the money, I can see him backing it.
I don't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
I'm keeping my guard extremely up.
Yeah, you wouldn't do your house up before you sell it, though, would you? Like if you were selling your house, you wouldn't go right. I'm going to spend 10,
Depends,
20
though,
grand on
doesn't
it.
it, James? Now you're talking my language. 'Cause that's
Budgie,
what I do for a
would
living.
throw a going away party.
And I tell you what,
going away party and spend
people
100
have
million.
spent. I know somebody just recently, and I was part of the team that did the work on the house. He spent 75 grand on his house to sell it, right?
Mm.
Before he put the 75 grand into it, he would have got 180 grand for it. He put 75 into it, so that puts it to 255. He got 490 grand for the house. So yeah, you would spend money on something.
Yeah, it's a
to make
decent
money.
point.
It makes it a much better prospect for the next buyer.
Or the only other way that you can look at it is they spend that money, but they recruit that money when they sell Declan. That's the only way I can look at it. I just
You got to look at it like
I kind of get that. But the team is far more valuable with Declan in it.
It is.
If you've got listen, if let's just say for argument's sake, let's put a figure on our club, right, at £1 billion, just for argument's sake, right? You take Declan Rice out of it, that makes it about a £650 million team. No, it's worth 350 million, but it reduces the value of the club because he is the engine of this club right now.
There's no way though, Raj, yeah? There is no way they're going to walk out and not sell him. I just can't see it. I just can't see GSB saying,
I can't see him selling him before they sell the club.
I think they
listen, I don't mean to be facetious or anything, James. That's not my aim here. But I'm just saying that they're businessmen, and they have to, if they've got a property or a a product to sell,
right.
It's far better to sell it as a viable option than
I get what you're saying there. I 100% get what you're saying, because they sell it with Declan there, then it's worth a lot more.
Top notch.
Yeah, but I just can't see him just leaving an asset there, because to me that's an asset, isn't it? Like Bowen and Declan are assets.
150 assets there if you include all the youth players and everything.
The argument you made about your mate obviously put more money into his house and getting more from it. I can see that a little bit, because like obviously if we had Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips and maybe like someone like Ollie Watkins, in your case that makes a lot of sense that we're ramping up the value a little bit. But those scumbags, you just can't trust them.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I listen. I've been around long enough to understand exactly the point you're making, But on the other hand, like I am not GSBing, definitely not, right? On the other hand, I see it from a business point of view, and I agree with what you're saying. You don't want to leave an asset behind and all this, that, and the other, but they're going to be leaving all of their assets behind to make back full of money.
Yeah, but the only problem with that, Budge, and we can all be honest here and say this, West Ham's only really got two big assets in Bowen and Rice. The rest of them are not huge assets, so to speak. Like they are, but they're not on the scale of Bowen and Rice. Bowen and Rice are about, at present, Bowen and Rice are worth about 250 million between them. I think Bowen can easily be an £100 million player if he carries on next year and starts banging in goals like he is this year. then he's an £100 million player straight away. So you got £250 million worth of talent there and 2 players. I understand. Listen, I'm listening to what you're saying. I get it, what you're saying, and I look at it and think you got a point. Like if they sell the club now, they could add that 250 million or 200 million on top of that, and say, "Here you go, Daniel." Like,
which would be smart. But
yeah,
look
what you got. But I just don't know. I look at him and I think, if you could trust them.
With all of this, though, James, we've all got our own personal opinions, but none of us really know what them fuckers are doing. And look, I've got no love for the Dildo Brothers or the slut. Sorry, I didn't say that. I've got no love for GSB at all, none whatsoever. And I have to be honest with you, I really don't think that they are stupid. None of them are stupid. And they are businessmen, don't they? All it is with me is that because I'm around people that deal in property all the time, I know how people that deal in property think, because I'm part of the process of their thinking. Do you know what I mean? Because I do the work for them, or some of the work for them. So I kind of get our property developer and so on and so forth thinks. And, although, Sullivan made his money with the pawn trade or whatever, their main focus is on the property. They haven't got a stadium that they can use as viable collateral. So all they have got is the squad, James. That is it. And the infrastructure. That's all they've got. They ain't got a building. They ain't got a stadium that they can use.
In my opinion, with that angle, Budgie, that to me almost gives them more reason to sell Rice and run away with the money, because
put it this way. I agree then, right? I'm a buyer and I want to buy West Ham, right? And the agreed price is 1 billion. I'm just using that as a number out of the sky. Okay. The agreed price is 1 billion, but you want to sell Declan Rice before I buy it. Well, okay. How much do you value Declan Rice at?
We'll just say 100 for the sake.
But the problem is with that, though, Budge. The problem is with that is
999 million now. Right, that ain't your billion no more. Right, and because you're trying to sell me something and you want to sell the best asset within that thing, I'm going to knock a bit more money off. I'm not going to agree to 999. I'm going to want to pay, or whatever the fucking value is. Like, you know what I'm saying, anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to want to pay any more than about 800 for the club.
But the problem is with that, though, Budge, you're not buying the club solely because you've got Declan Rice there. You're buying the club because it's a football club. Like, whether Declan Rice, listen, it could be anyone.
Tell the buyers that are out there right now that then, James. Because they are all looking at West Ham as a viable prospect because of Declan Rice. You can't deny that.
I don't know. But they also know Declan ain't going to be there, though. That is another thing. Like,
that depends.
Because
that is not a given.
Value to houses, and
that
then
is not a given.
In a second, like you're in the because I get what you're saying. I just at the end of the day, with your example of using houses, there's people that flip houses, and there's people, excuse me, that put money into houses to make them more valuable. And GSB to me are house flippers, and if they and I know this is long past, but in my opinion, it says a lot when you sell Grady Diangana for £17 million when he's on the up and up. That, to me, I don't think they'd have a problem flipping Declan Rice for $80 million and keeping it all.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, mate. I've got to. I get what Budgie's saying.
They haven't proved to be smart, savvy business people, in my opinion. And Budgie, what you're saying, I'm the same way. I feel the same exact way. If I had a house and you told me all I have to do is spend £50,000 and the value of my house goes up 150 grand, I'm doing that 1,000%.
Yeah, but West
But
Ham. This
then
is where, with that analogy, that's where I've got to disagree because West Ham can't go up anymore because West Ham one don't own their stadium. That's the first thing, and Daniel's already in there. So Daniel's the investor, so we've already got a buyer for the club. Daniel will buy the club, but I just don't see them walking away and leaving us Declan Rice and Bowen. I think one of them will go. They will cash in the dough, or whatever money they spend this year. Or no, let's rephrase that. Whatever money they spend this summer going on to next year, they will get back from one of them. There's no way they're just going to go and
and
spend hundred million.
they can easily sell. Okay, we could say they easily sell the club for, let's say, 500 million pounds, and
Yeah,
then they sell Rice for 100. They're going to get 600 million pounds. So I mean, and like I said, you either flip houses or you invest in houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, look, I ain't gonna go and buy an house and then let somebody take all the interior walls out because they like the decorating on them. That's just fucking
Agreed.
ridiculous. You're not gonna go and buy a club as it stands and then allow the previous owners to go and sell one of your best assets or the best asset you have. You're
but
not
if it,
going to let them do that. And
but
that's
if a
going to be
deal,
a clause in the sale.
yeah,
You cannot sell Declan Rice if you want me to buy the club.
but
Simple as that.
if a deal is in place though at 2023 and Daniel's in there till 2023 and then Daniel gets the right to take over, then I don't think he has a lot of choice then, mate, does he? Let's be honest. If a deal's been struck and they've said, right, then you can come in, you can be an investor. But let's be
It's a
honest,
weird
Daniel's been.
situation.
Let's be
We don't
honest
know what
here.
the deal is, though, James. We're just,
Nah,
speculating, mate.
but what it
At the
is,
end of the day, it's brilliant conversation, but it means fuck all in the bigger scheme of things because nobody knows what them fuckers are up to. You
well,
know,
look at it this way: if there's no money in January and we don't spend what we believe we should be spending this summer, surely alarm bells will be ringing to say they're doing minimal spend because they're leaving next year, right? And listen. I agree partly what you're saying, and I do disagree on the other part. On the part that you're saying about that, you could sell him, you could keep him, and your value is going to go up. I understand that. On the other side of it, I don't trust them fuckers as far as I can throw them, and I think whatever they spend, they will want to get back. Listen, if they can take loans out against the club, they can they can do anything, mate. Trust me. So for me, I just whatever they spend in this summer, they will look at Declan and go, "That's our payday at the end of it." 100%.
I think we could all agree, though, this summer. When was the last protest we had? That was
the last
2017 when we protested.
2020 summer.
I honestly could see if the same shit happened this summer as previous windows. I would not be surprised if there is another uproaring
I don't think
uprising.
there'll be a protest, Lucas. I will say that. But I do think there will be an outcry. If there is not players at this club and there is not signings coming through the door, and I agree with what someone said in the chat earlier, it has to be the right signs, I get that. Yeah. But you've got to spend money to get quality. There's no two ways about it. You can't keep penny pinching and hoping to get these players in. Listen, we've had results with Cafal and Dawson, but we've also had a bit of a bad one with Crowell. I know it's on loan, but we've still got to pay a loan fee. Vlasic, if you like him or you don't, he hasn't really cut it this season. So you've got to weigh it up and go that next season, whatever we buy, they've got to come in and hit the ground running straight away. So
And
this summer is massive.
Yeah, and a massive plus to us really is that we've now got another 100 plus grand a week in the wages we're getting because Yarmolenko's going in summer. Good greetings, Pete.
Oh, I'm a wreck, man.
All right.
I'm a wreck, Doc. Like, yo. Oh, I can't even get my thing straight now. Continue talking, Doc. I need help, Doc. I need
I,
help.
And
I think
I was
that
saying this earlier in the week that as much as I don't think Ollie Watkins, in my opinion, is worth 50 million pounds at Villas, apparently asking for, I would still almost pay that because he's at least I wouldn't say prem proven, but like
Don't.
he's played in the prem. He's a decent striker. He's got everything that we're looking for. Like I'd rather like we just need to spend some money, and it's only infuriating every single window because as West
What
Point
we've got to
supporters, we all know the
do,
one step we're missing.
yeah, but what we've got to do is show ambition this summer, mate. Because I'm not being funny or nothing. Newcastle, I watched them tonight against Arsenal. Right, they fucking completely destroyed Arsenal. All right, they will come. Right, they will come strong next season with money.
Yeah.
This and right, and they've got a free pot basically. They can just go and spend what they like. The big six are going to spend. Right, then you've got other teams like Leicester. They ain't gonna. Right, they've been poor this year, so they're going to come strong. Villa's going to spend. So we've got to spend some fucking money, like because I don't want us to slip. And we're in Europe next year, so we can't do it all. So really, they've got no choice. But it just would not surprise me in the slightest if West Ham went out and got a couple of free transfers, maybe 2 or 3 free transfers, which would be good business, and then a load of wingers and wide men, and
No,
not go with.
We have enough wingers, James. We have too
I
many
agree,
wingers.
mate. I agree, mate. I wonder if Mbappe wants to come to West Ham. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Let's cash in on Neymar at the same time. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take him on a free.
Surprise signing for you, guy, David. Yeah, David Sullivan comes up and says, "Yeah, I've got a surprise signing for you." Oh yeah, who's that? Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
He's like,
I just
make
really
sure
hope.
he's got a disabled parking space.
I just hope we take the right approach, and obviously everyone's going to have different opinions, but I guess we could do a quick little round table. Like say we do have, and again, just speculation. Let's just set a number. Say we have £100 million. You can use all that money. You can use any free transfers on players at the top of your head that you like. How would you approach the summer window? Like I already said it, so I'll start off. Like me personally, I would probably buy 3 players and try and get 2 or 3 on some free. So in my opinion, I would rather the money has to be splashed on a Declan Rice partner or a striker. There's no 2 ways about it. Like one of those 2 have to be prioritized, and you could say I want to splash on a striker or I want to splash on Calvin Phillips, James Ward-Prowse, Basuma, whoever. Me personally, I'm in the camp. I'd rather spend the 40 million, 50 million on a Declan Rice partner, and then save the rest. And again, you could go out and buy a 30, 40 million pound striker, and then we just sign maybe Lingard or Bellotti on a free. How realistic that is, I do not know, but that's just what I would do.
Why not Lingard and Bellotti?
I would love that, but then again, we also need a left winger. We need a left back.
Lingard. Lingard's the perfect man for the left wing.
Do you know who I would have? That I would love him really. I think he'd be a great striker. Is Rashford from Man United? I think he's wasted at Man United. I think his time's done.
He's quality. I wouldn't even mind getting Lukaku if I'm honest with you.
Oh
no!
I read Lukaku would be on fire.
Probably to get him on loan, but there's no way I would see them selling or loaning to us because I mean we're probably going to be neck and neck with United for at least 2 more seasons.
I think the answer to your question, Lucas, what you just said to us all, is that I think striker is a major thing for us. I think we do need someone who is better than Antonio. Right, it's nothing against Antonio, but I think if we're going to go up a level, we need a better striker. I think left back is a major problem for West Ham. Right, we need a left back at this club. There's no 2 ways about it. Like whoever we get, just go and get someone to left back. I think Keane Lewis Potter will come to West Ham. I'm about 80% sure on it. He knows Bowen. West Ham have got a good relationship with Hull, and we've always done good business with Hull with like Reece Burke, Bowen, etc. So I think that happens. I think we need a centre half of some some sort of class, right? I think Milenkovic at Fiorentina would be a good signing. He was one we was trying to get last year. I think he's signed a contract, but his contract is only for like 2 years. I think it is. So I think if we was
Gar still out there as well.
yeah, I'd get him, and I'd also get Areola. So if you just spend about 80 million on say a striker, Keener as Potter, a left back, and maybe a centre half of some sort, then we then get a couple of free transfers, then we're good. I think we're flying, but we definitely need a striker, mate. There's no two ways
James,
about
what
it.
do you think about that boy? Timo Werner. I think he's shit.
He's good for us. I reckon he'd be. I think he'd be good for us, but I just think he's shit for Chelsea.
Why? Like, how do we play to his strengths?
I think on that left-hand side, mate, or even through the middle. I do agree with you, though. You are right. We don't play to his strengths because we play long balls over the top. And I think yesterday proved it to all of us. West Ham can play the ball on the ground. Do you know what I mean? They go through teams. And that's what irritates me. I think sometimes if we can just pass our way through, because like we've got Declan, who's a great passer. Fornells can do good passing ability. I just feel sometimes we overplay the ball and then we end up going backwards. And if you sit there and watch us in a 4-2-3 it's always sideways and back passing. And it's just like, it's very frustrating. West Ham needs to be on the front foot. Like for me, we need a striker, and Jonathan David, or someone of that sort of class, that's where we need to get. I think if we go and get Diaz in from Blackburn, I think it's an Armstrong 2.0 in my opinion.
I do as well. I don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player. I just can't see him with us doing well.
Oh, I can. Oh, I definitely can, man. He's like he has the instinct of Jermaine Defoe, and he has the size of somebody like who? Somebody
But
like
he's
maybe
never
Charlie
played in the Prem
Austin.
before, and yes, I know people have made the jump, but I just don't see
You know what though,
Premier League
Lucas? He's
quality in
never.
him.
No, but he's never like he was born in Brooklyn, moved to Haiti, got his citizenship in Canada, and the way he went about his business, he had a really good coach in Ottawa, and he didn't want to go through the Canadian football setup or the American football setup. He wanted to go straight to Europe. I I think that those are big things, and he did that, and he's been able to play in Europe. Europe is closer than playing in the MLS, in my opinion.
I
And
just don't think he would
I
fit
think he'd fit in.
a team like ours. I really don't.
Why not?
Who?
I think he's a
Jonathan
perfect
David.
player.
Why not?
Indeed.
I think.
What you think he has attitude?
No.
Who
I'm not questioning his character or anything.
Yeah.
I just don't think his style of play fits us.
Who's this? Diaz?
No,
Yeah.
Jonathan David. Oh, I was talking about
Oh.
Jonathan David. My bad. I was
No,
talking
I
about
thought you
Jonathan
were talking
David.
about Diaz.
Well, Diaz, forget Diaz. Jonathan David. That we need to sign him, Doc. We need
I
to sign
think
Jonathan
Diaz.
David.
I think Diaz is a.
Further that way.
I think he froze.
He did, but Diaz could be like a front foot like Craig Dawson. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like and he like Diaz could be a
James,
front foot
can
Craig
you
Dawson.
repeat
I haven't seen enough
what
of
you
him.
just said? You froze for us.
Right. I remember seeing.
Jonathan David though, all day.
I remember seeing.
Sorry, go on, James.
I remember seeing Diaz for Forest against Arsenal a couple of years ago. And he scored a couple of goals, and he was decent. Don't get me wrong, but he's a one-trick pony, mate. He's had one good season at Blackburn, like one. Like ever since he's changed his birth.
How old is he? How old is he though, James?
He's about 25, I think. I think it's 25, 24, something like that. Right? Yeah. He might even be. He's been round.
Yeah, go on.
He's been round the Championship. Like he was at Stoke for a little bit. I just think West Ham need better than that. I'm not like I don't want to be rude and nothing, but
I got a list of players that I would go and shop for this summer, and they're all realistic.
Like who? Name two of them. because I
Right.
think
Well,
you're. I
no,
think
Those
you're.
those are
tell
my
you
favorite
who
on
I
the
would go
classic
and
list,
get, and
buddy.
they're all
They're all
realistic.
realistic.
Who? Name two, Doc. Name two. Two
Right.
players
Well,
that
first of
if
all,
you were Rob Newman and Moyes, you went out for them. Because I'll
first
name
of
you
all,
two that
obviously,
are
I
like.
would make
I think
Areola's.
you're two, Doc.
I would make Areola's deal permanent. Number
100%
one.
agreed.
Right. And then I would go and get Rico Henry. I would go and
Interesting.
get Keen Lewis Potter. I
Interesting.
would go and get. I would go and get Patrick Bamford and Rafinha.
Patrick
And then I would go
Bamford.
and get Lingard on loan and maybe another loan
I
player.
actually do not hate that Patrick Bamford idea. I really don't.
What about
But
Just
Pookie,
I
Doc?
would
What
like
about Pookie,
to
Doc?
see someone a bit. I don't want to say better, but you know what I'm saying.
Keener. Somebody a
Piss
lot
on,
more keen.
piss on
Clips is in
Patrick
the house.
Bamford, Doc.
Hey,
Oh
Clips.
man, Patrick Bamford's solid in my opinion.
Patrick Bamford's a see you next flipping
Oh,
tomorrow, Doc.
stop.
Real talk, he is.
What's
He,
wrong with him, Peach?
yeah, I
he's
I,
one dimensional.
I
He's
just think
one
it's injured too
dimensional.
much.
Then
I think you
he's
get.
another Andy Carroll. He's gonna take up the
Oh.
injury table. Like we need somebody young. It's Jonathan David, Doc.
If I said to you right now, Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Bamford, who would you have?
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh,
I would.
that's actually very tough.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. Dominic
It
Calvert-Lewin
is.
is in the England setup.
DCL
Where's
hasn't done
Bamford?
shit
Is
this
Bamford in
season,
the
but be
England setup?
injured.
No,
Another
he's not.
injury-prone striker.
Bamford is injury prone, Doc. Like we're talking about two
Not as much as
like
DCL.
raspberry ripples, Doc. We're talking about two raspberry ripples here. Like honestly, your Bamford
Give me
boy
Bamford.
and your DCL. They're both raspberry ripples, Doc. Straight up, they need that thing on their car so they can park like right in front of the
I'd rather
grocery
take
store.
Patrick Bamford. Less risk, in my opinion. Lesser money, and he has great work rate.
But you can say about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can say
I
about
don't know. I
Bamford.
got to disagree with you, Lucas.
I'm saying Jonathan David, 100. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 100. Like Rafinha, like Budgie's what Budgie said right
I think
there.
we can all agree that Jonathan David
but
would be
what
the
Budgie
top
said
of our
right there was
list.
class. What Budgie said there was class. Like he kind of nailed every position we need. Like he kind of nailed it, honestly. Except for
And you know what? I've just spent there about 110 million.
You see what I'm saying? You nailed it in both ways, like financially wise and like quality. Pick yourself up, Doug. Fuck this. Like, straight up, I ain't even playing with you. This man gets this right now because you know what? That made mad sense, man. That made mad sense.
But he was 10 million over the budget.
Budgie is a legend. I don't bet all of y'all are legends straight up, and I know the team too loosely. But all y'all are legends. But this man right now, like straight up, wait for it like after a bit. But like this man, we need another one of him. Honestly, straight up.
Mate, you'll be glad that there's a.
Let's have a look. What we're going to do with the old Guinness thing today, then? Ooh. West Ham and Mastiff, everywhere we go, everywhere we go.
No. That's Budgie, everybody. If you don't know, Budgie made that. Like he is a wizard. He is a Fuck bollocks. Piss off. You're too humble. He made that thing like he's a wizard, dog. Straight up. Yo, I just found out my mom has to go to the flipping hospital, dog, for imaging. I don't even know what imaging is, dog. But I think
Imaging.
MRI things.
Yeah. Who's this? Sorry.
My mom.
Yeah, my mum's at hospital too.
See, all our moms are at the hospital. It's mad. It's mad. I just got the call from my father, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I got to take your mom to the hospital because they went to the doctor. Hold on one second. They went to the doctor, and that's like in one place where I live, and then they went, and then the doctor said, I got you, and then the doctor said that they have to go to the hospital now. And yeah, so shit in it, like real talk.
Yeah.
Shit, what's your mom in for, dog?
Her breathing and her heart rate, and there's
Yep.
a shadow on her lung.
Oh
So,
shit, me. That's
yeah,
not. That's not cool, man.
no, mate.
That's shit. My mom, like, I think it's in
She's
her.
92 years old as well, Peach. So,
Yo, she 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's 8 years away from a letter from the Queen, dog, and she'll probably run that, and she'll probably get that.
oh, mate, she'll probably be burying all her kids now, my mum.
I love that. I love that. I can't see James Fever on here. He is on here, but it's not showing up. I don't know why. He is on here. Hold on. Is that no? He is still on here, but he's not showing up. Weird. Weird. Big up James Fever. But yeah, no, my mom hasn't been the same, honestly, for like the last 3 or 4 days. It's like she had cancer and it was like in the anal area, which is weird. Sorry to be so like too
Yeah,
TMI, too much
yeah,
information. But she had it like there and it's very rare. And it was funny because it wasn't funny, but it was odd that the building we lived in at that time, there was another lady in Canada who suffered from the same thing, and those were the only two ladies in Canada that suffered from this specific
cancer.
cancer.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? She beat the cancer, but it's like the radiation and the chemotherapy did worse to her than the cancer did. You get what I'm saying? It
Always the way, mate. It's always the
always,
way.
dog. Like I heard a messed up story the
Part,
other
it's
day.
part of the reason why I have heart problems, mate.
It's hereditary, yes.
Well, yeah, but I went through some cancer treatment myself a few
Yep.
years back. So,
Yep. But you
yeah.
came out all good, yeah?
Yeah, and so far so good at the moment. I will
No,
find out this
that's
weekend how that's
that's
going.
beautiful, Butch. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, man. It's
so
just
far.
messed up. It's like it's messed up. Like like my cousin, he passed from pancreatic cancer. Now I have pancreatitis. My mom has pancreatitis. She had the cancer. My dad had the cancer, and it's like the cancer got rid of, but it's like what did them more in was the chemotherapy and the radiations, like because they just burn off your shit. Did
It's
you have to go
horrible.
through any radiations, Budgie?
No, no radiation. Just
Good.
keep well. It was the one what the course of drugs that I was put on
Yeah.
was at first was like a precursor to chemo, and it's
Okay.
sort of like it's like a milder version of it. It gets the body ready for it. It's this trial
Yep.
thing that they were doing at the time,
Yep.
and it kind of gets the body ready for the chemo. And because I was, and I don't condone this, I don't suggest that anybody else does this, but
Yes.
because I was using copious amounts of THC,
Yep.
and I was vaping it and all sorts,
Yep.
I managed to get from a plus 90 T cell count to a
Yep.
-7 in
I
9 months.
yep. I believe that. Can I tell you little story? And I've told it
Yeah,
on here before, but for those who are watching that don't know, I had an ulcer or a tumor. Sorry, not an ulcer. It was a tumor. I had a tumor in my pancreas. That's how I became diabetic, like type 1 diabetic. And it's like I had a tumor in my pancreas do you know what got rid of it? And it was my doctor before weed, because weed's legal in Canada now. But before weed was legal, this was 2018. My doctor
Mhm.
gave me like a medical marijuana card, and I was able to go to like this place, that place, and get what I needed. If it was oils, if it was leaves, like different strains, and budgie, that got rid of the tumor.
I believe it 100%.
Yeah, it's it,
I
it,
know
and it
what it can do.
yeah,
And,
it, it yeah,
the doctors have been amazed that, I mean, I went through a 2-year period where I didn't go for any checkups at all.
yes, yes,
In fact, I avoided the doctors like fucking plague.
yeah, and
And
yeah, yeah,
then eventually I had to go to the doctor for something else to do with my heart.
yeah,
And they then did some blood tests on me, and he was like, I don't believe how you can still have such a low count,
yeah,
such a low risk as
yes,
well. And I said, well, I'm still using THC.
that's it.
And he said, well, I can't tell you to do it, but I'm not going to tell you to
Not
stop.
to do it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, so I believe 100% that the magic plant
yeah.
is a magic plant.
And
And
and and budgie, you can get everybody thinks like it's just THC. It's not. It's
you
like
know,
marijuana.
CBD.
Yeah, CBD. Like marijuana has a CBD element, which is like the medical element, and then it has the THC, which is the hallucinogens. And
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can
don't
get.
don't underestimate THC, because
Oh no, I
THC has
won't.
got hell of a lot of medicinal properties about it.
One
A
hundred
lot.
percent. One hundred
Which is
percent.
why
Yeah.
which is why
I want to see the
when I
part with Jackson
started
Rye.
using the oil
Yeah.
under my tongue,
Me too. I did that.
at first I was just using CBD oil,
Me too.
and
Yep.
when I was going through my treatment, I
Yes.
was feeling absolute shit. I mean,
Yep.
to the point where I actually didn't come out of my house other than to go to the
I hear you.
treatment room.
I hear you.
I didn't come out of my house for like nearly 9 weeks, and my brother, my brother got a bit concerned about me,
Treacle. Big up
and,
treacle. Yeah.
he said, he came to see me, and he said, look, what's going on? He already knew about the treatments and that, and he said, what's going on? Why ain't you, out and about? And I'm like, well, I don't want to be out and about. I don't feel well enough.
I
Blah
hear
blah
that,
blah. And
man.
I told him about everything. Now, don't put me on solo, please. It's embarrassing, man. Um, so yeah, he told me about a friend of his, and I spoke to him, and he said to me, "What you've got to do is you've got to use CBD oil, but
Yep.
it's also got to have a certain amount of THC content in it,
Mm-hmm.
like 30%, I think it is."
That's a lot,
So
though.
that's the one I used. So 30% THC, 70% CBD,
See, I was
and
on that's
it
a
changed
lot of
things.
THC though. That's a
It
lot of
is, but
THC,
it
bro.
changed things a lot, though, Pete.
Did it? Did it?
It completely changed things.
Okay.
Completely. I mean, like, for example, I
Yeah.
started, I started being a bit more energetic.
Yep.
I started going out to places. I started going
Yep.
back to the pub,
I hear that.
and things like that, because I had more get up and go about me. I was feeling a lot better about myself. And
100.
like, for about 6.5 months of my treatment, I felt, as good as new. But for the
Yep.
first 3 months, I felt like I was already dead. I was just,
Yeah, you dying.
waiting to
Yeah,
actually
man.
go.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Do you feel like because you got like what I think what I was on was like only 11% THC, and then like 11% THC, and then like 27 some percent CBD, and you don't get so like spaced out. But was it
no,
sativa or indica that you were intaking?
sativa.
That's the best in it because it does make you feel and like indica knocks you on your ass, but sativa and Frankie Boyle know this, but sativa kind of like
It's all about that indica, baby.
oh shut this see this guy he's you're a pothead dog, but it's
Yeah,
like and I
man.
used to be still, but it's like I still smoke the thing daily, but like Frankie Boy, but it's like it's mad because it's energetic. Like the sativa is energetic, Lucas. Like you feel like you could like run a marathon. But the indica just makes me want to like pass out, watch The Simpsons with a bag of Doritos, and I'm done. Like I don't know if it. You know what? Indica might have a different effect on you, Lucas. You know what I'm saying? Than it does myself.
The thing over here is that the trouble over here is that you get a lot of hybrids, and they
Yeah,
actually don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
I hear you.
Some of the people that make these hybrids, and like you can smoke some of them, and you just honestly, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Oh, I know.
Like,
Like you feel
you don't,
antsy, don't you?
yeah,
Sometimes when you smoke
no.
hybrids, you feel antsy,
And
dancy, like yeah.
I kind of put a lot of my previous feelings of illness
Yeah.
down to poorly grown
Yep.
weed, basically.
Marijuana. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Butchie,
Um,
isn't it nuts? Like they it's like a vicious cycle. When you have like different issues, they want to put you on like chemical medications that are just like it's like it's like a wicked thing. Like it's like a 360 thing. It's like a wicked tornado because they might band-aid it for a bit, but then you'll end up right where you were before. And the thing about like THC and CBD, basically marijuana in general, you like that's a plant that has been in the ground for years. Like it's a natural medicine. You know how they have like those homeopathic medicines and all those things. I've heard so much great things about like homeopathic medicines when people get like two plant seeds, crush them up, fry them, drink them, whatever, and they're brand new. They give them some chemical things like some what's the one that's big in the UK, dog? Sabutamol? No, not sabutamol. What am I thinking of, dog? It's like a what is it called, dog? Oh, it's like a Tylenol 3 type thing, but it's called something different in England. Paracetamol, paracetamol,
no.
right? Like when my dad was going through back pains, like his best mate in Ilford, he was like saying, "Oh, have some paracetamol." But my dad went to see this holistic, homeopathic type flipping guy,
Yeah,
and like he gave him like two things of plants that he ground up and then like put in a drink or like fried up like ginger. Ginger's good too. But and that got rid of his back problem. When you take a chemical thing, it'll band-aid it, but you'll be right back in pain like 2 weeks, like 3 weeks later, doc.
yeah,
Trust
yeah.
me.
I know.
Yo, we're on some medicine tip tonight. Still, look what happens when Peach gets on. It's like some medicine things, dog. Even Lucas is like, yo, I had enough of this medicine talk, dog. I'm leaving. But like, James, welcome back. Welcome, James, welcome back, man. Welcome back. What's your thoughts on Brighton? If y'all ain't already talked about that,
The
No,
curse, mate. The curse.
the
The
curse is
Brighton
finished,
curse.
though. The curse is finished, dog. We're gonna do 1920, dog. 1920, dog. 52 years since we beat them, dog. We're gonna do them in, dog.
I tell
I
you
think
what, I think it's a massive game on Sunday.
it is.
Right,
It is.
you
It
know what
is.
I mean?
But we have to rely on Manchester United and Crystal Palace
But
because,
even if Man United draw, I think we could still do it because of goal difference. So,
yeah, yeah. But if they win, we're done. Even if we win and they win, we're done. Like we get into the conference, but that's it. I want Europa,
curse.
man. No, no curse, dog. Like, yo, how like I was watching Gio Zola, like Giola. I called him Giola on a comment I left today on his shit, man. Giola and Gonzalo or Gonzola. But like Giola was talking about like when Man City came to our manor, like in the last like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, Like they spanked us like 5-0, 4 something, 3 something, 4 something, 5 something. And even Gonzo used to say, I don't know if you watch Hammer's Chat Too Tough. I've seen you on there like before as well as yourself, Budge, the boatman. But it's like I seen Gonzo before. He was like, when Man City come to town, like we just like roll over and get our tummies tickled. And we did not roll over and get our tummies tickled. We should have won that. Because that was not a free kick. It's Jack Grealish at his finest again. Like homeboy is a nah, but like I thought we made a good account of ourselves, and if we can bring that same energy into the Brighton match, we're gonna win. We're gonna win, man. And I think they
There is one major factor.
what's that? What's
That
that? Bud?
there ain't going to be 60,000 West Ham fans there.
You're right.
That's a major factor,
You're right.
especially in away games. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had some brilliant away performances this season.
Yep.
Absolutely stellar. But, you know, it's the last game of the season. We need 2 points. And we need Man City not to get any. So we've got to go for the win.
Absolutely.
We have to go for the win.
Isn't
Not Man City, sorry, Man
No,
United.
Manchester United. I understood what you were saying, but isn't it beautiful? Like James and Budge and Lucas, like who's not here, but I know he's watching, and hopefully he'll come back. But isn't it like messed up because like usually we were playing the last match of the season to stay in the Premier League. Now we're playing the last match of the season to stay in Europa. Isn't that a beautiful like thing? Like given like 2 years
That's a
ago, we were like right down there.
huge leap, bro.
Thank you.
It's a huge leap. And this is, this will be the first time in our history that we're challenging for the European places.
Yeah.
Consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
You know, we've never done this before. You know, and regardless of some of the embarrassing losses that we've had in our season, etc. Regardless of the fact that we've lost players at the time we've needed them the most, and regardless of the fact that we've lost players for the entire season near on, O'Connor, for example, in spite of all of that, we're still challenging for Europa for a second season running, which is the first time in our history we've ever done that. You know, we got to the semi-final this year. We were almost in the Champions League. I know we wouldn't have been able to sustain it. I don't believe, anyway, not for an entire competition. But we probably would have got somewhere reasonable, last 16 or something, which is an improvement on last year or whatever. But this year it's going to take a major feat, major investment, like James said, and major reshuffle on the pitch. I mean, by that I mean some of the investment that's made has got to be to replace some of our established starting 11. The likes of Antonio, the likes of Creswell, the likes of Socek. We've got to be able to have players to challenge those positions, every single one of them. And if we do that in the summer, there's no reason why we wouldn't have been able to maintain a decent, Champions League run next season. But we're for Europa. I think we've done the semi-final. Now let's go one better and get into the final. Win it or not, let's get there.
Yeah, I agree. I just think this year, also another thing that no one sort of mentioned tonight, is that the effect of Mark Noble not being there next year. How's that going to affect us as a club?
It's going to be huge, considering what I witnessed yesterday, James, at the stadium. Lucas was there; he would be able to bear testament, and many of the people that are in the chat will probably bear testament. I know Happy will. The emotion that ran through that stadium yesterday drove it sort of kind of drove the players on to celebrate the moment, in such a decent way. It was just when we're not going to experience that next season. I mean, maybe he'll come back for a visit as a visitor to watch a game or 3 or 5 or whatever, and obviously there'll be acknowledgement for that, but it ain't going to be like when he steps out on the pitch or if he's on the touchline. If he gets a job on the touchline with or in the backroom staff, like for the first team and stuff, it probably will be like having a 12th man on the pitch, if I'm honest. I mean, James, when that guy did his lap of honour, I think he probably must have had to drink half a gallon of water to replenish all the liquid that he lost when he was crying. That guy was showing so much emotion. You probably saw more of it on the TV than we did in the stadium, but that's an advantage that people that didn't get to the stadium have. The advantage that we have that in the stadiums that we felt that love. Do you know what I mean? And it was just incredible. I mean, I've got some video footage of it and that. I'm going to release a little video probably in about 2 hours or so. Just got to finish editing it. But yeah, there was just so much emotion in the stadium. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I mean, the Man City fans were gone within like 8 minutes of the final whistle. That was it. They were all gone. And then Ben Shepherd came out, as you know, and it just went on from there. It was just such a good moment. And, Nodes himself was, brilliant. And, Bobby Zamora was there last night. I saw him and Carlton Cole. And there were quite a few ex-players there last night. Players that have played alongside him. It was a very, very special night. Very special.
I agree. It was touching. I just feel next year he can go one or two ways next year. It can either be we move on, everything's all good, or we could go backwards, like with egos and stuff. I think what it is, we ain't got no egos in the squad at the minute. I think if we sign a lot of players at once, I just hope we don't go back to that old way of Haller.
Yeah, but I think David Moyes is a lot more careful than that, though, James, don't you?
I think so, but you know how it is. Like, you got who they on the pitch, who they really going to look up to now. Like, fair enough, you got Noble there. I understand, Rice there, but he's only been there in the team for the last 4 years. Someone who's been there all their career, even the youngsters to a point, like he had them in check with respect and everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
and still will, though, James, even regardless of what position he takes, and he's been told that there's a position there for him. He openly admits that on the interview. He's going to take some time out with his family. I mean, even if he takes a year out, James, I mean, I know that doesn't really help the club a lot, but it'll help him.
Budgie, who are you talking about?
That.
Budgie, who are you talking about? What player?
Noble.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No, you're fine.
You're fine. Left for a minute.
No, I just for me, he's been absolutely first class. He's the same age as me. He wears my birthday number. And
he's an old bastard then, any if he's the same age as you, Doc. What?
I know, mate. I won't mind being a pound behind him now. Listen, at the end of the day, he's been absolutely first class.
Yeah.
For us, I even said it on my channel the other day. I said the geezer's been loyal when others like he could have walked away at any time, really. If I'm being honest, like relegations and things. And I'll never forget the game in 2007 against Spurs. We lost 4-3. One of the most heartbreaking London derbies I think I've ever seen. When we was Tevez scored and we went 3-2 up and we lost the game 4-3 in the 90th minute through Paul Salteri, I think it was.
Yep.
And he started crying on the pitch, no ball. He was only 19 then. And for me, he's been an absolute first-class servant for West Ham. Do you know what I'm saying? But one thing he has given West Ham is, in the modern day, is morals and respect. Yeah, there's not a lot of respect in football anymore. It's all egos and prima donnas, so to speak. And listen, I think we need him back as soon as. So, like, I think we need him around the first team as soon as.
Yeah,
I think he needs to be there. I think if he is, then I could see the progression going up. Listen, I'm not saying Moyes is silly, but let's be honest. Noble being from the sidelines, Declan Rice, you've got leaders in there, haven't you? And that's, I think, how many leaders do West Ham have now? Declan. It's very hard to see who else is the next one in line who's going to.
Dawson.
Maybe Dawson.
Yeah.
I'd put his defensive partner in the mix as well.
Zuma,
Who's that, Budge?
Zuma.
Who was that, Budge? What did you say?
Zuma.
I don't know.
Mate,
I don't like.
He's future captain material, I'm telling you.
He's brilliant at what he does, and I think Chelsea missed the trick with selling him because I think he's right up there with Rudiger. But captain-wise, I can see.
You know, my brother's actually in Turkey at the moment. Before he went, before he went, right, we had a conversation. Now, I love bringing up the Zuma conversation with him because it really grates on him. Because he said to me, as great as Rudiger is, with the right manager and the right team around him, Zuma could be better.
I agree.
And I said to him, well, good, what are you saying, Pep Guardiola or whatever? He went, no. I'm saying David Moyes, with that group of players that he's got around him and the group of, ex-players he's got in the backroom staff, he said, Kurt Zuma cannot fail. That's what my brother's words were.
That's big comments for your brother, dog. Like talking about West Ham United like that. Like that's.
But look, we share a mutual respect for each other's team when we're talking about our own teams and stuff. And on match day, he's the first one I want to smack in the mouth when Chelsea score, and vice versa.
And the Liverpool boy at your local, and the Liverpool boy.
I want to smack him whenever Liverpool score, no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, just smack him in the kisser, dog.
Mate, I just don't like him. He's a cock.
But it's beautiful, though, isn't it? Like you being able to talk.
Like my brother, I've got one or two voice messages on my phone from him. Like when we were in the semi-final, I went to see the first leg, didn't I? And my brother was sending me messages saying, "Look, bruv, listen, I know this sounds a bit shitty, and I don't mean it to, but this could just be a once in a lifetime occasion for you.
Yeah.
So make the most of it, enjoy it, treat it like it's your last day on earth, and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean?"
Yeah,
so because he's experienced it with Chelsea a couple of times, he said to me, get out there, boy, and enjoy it, right?
I love that.
And then, another one would be, oh, bruv, look, even though you didn't make it this year, there's always next year. You can fight for it next year, and you'll do one better next year. You'll get into the final because David Moyes will get you there, and that kind of thing. So, it's and it's not just my brother that talks that way to me. I mean, my mate Mark, who's a Brighton fan, my mate Paul, who's a Gooner. I've got a couple of Tottenham fans that are mates of mine, and they all say the same thing to me. They're all saying the same thing to me. At one time, a lot of teams considered West Ham as a Mickey Mouse team. Up and down like a yo-yo. Yeah. And they were probably justified in what they thought to some degree. They never knew the inner workings. But now that they're seeing the kind of progress that David Moyes is having us make, you know, it kind of it's got them all back, sitting back and watching it and saying, wow, this is good shit. We're enjoying this. You know, even listen, people that traditionally don't like West Ham, you know, we're talking about Tottenham fans, we're talking about Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, you know, they're traditionally against West Ham. It's tradition. They're all of them. They're all like just kind of complimentary. Sometimes my head can't actually deal with it. You know, and you got all the Liverpool guys like going to me, are you in for the game? And I go, yeah. And they go, oh, come and sit at our table and that. And, you know, it's kind of weird that they're all kind of supporting West Ham over. I mean, I'm talking about locally. I don't know about nationally. But locally, and I would imagine it's very similar elsewhere, you know, except for in the die-hard areas, I would have thought, you know. But, you know, you're finding that, you know, supporters of other clubs are actually watching us with a bit of excitement about it and some respect now, you know. Some of the TV channels and that are kind of changing the way they approach their comments about West Ham.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
You know, they're not giving us, you know, Man City, Man United, Chelsea kind of praise, but they are kind of catching up.
You know who I found has done that, and I don't know if you agree, Budge or Jay, Jay Hustle. You know who I found that's done that? Steve McManaman.
Yeah, he's actually very pro West Ham right now.
And that's my favorite two, like, commentators, Steve McManaman and Ian Dark. Like, I don't know about this Lucy Ward girl or whatever her name is. Like, she's quality, but give me Steve McManaman and Ian Dark any day of the week. I love listening to them.
Some of the panels that they have, like on Sky in particular, they're kind of, unless there's actually a West Ham player or ex-player on the panel, it kind of tends to have like more of an approach towards our opponents of the day, rather than how well we've done. It's more about how badly they played, or something, you know.
Yeah, and I hate that.
Whereas I think on BT Sport they're slightly less
biased
towards us, whereas, you know, and there's another channel which is, the name escapes me now. Yeah, no, I think it's ESPN actually.
Is it really? Okay.
I think it is. There's a guy on here. I'm pretty sure it is ESPN. I don't know his name. He's a blondish sort of guy, and I've seen. I picked up a few videos on YouTube and that, and he was talking about the West Ham Leeds league game when we lost.
Yeah.
Right. Incidentally, let me just change track a little bit. Guess who I bumped into outside Stratford Station when I got off my train yesterday?
Okay, hold on. I want 3 guesses, and James jump in too. Did he play for West Ham?
No.
Is he a commentator?
No.
Fucking hell. Does he have a YouTube channel?
No.
Okay, so tell me, because I have no flipping idea.
Toots. Do you remember the guy that got attacked on the night of that game?
Yep, Smiley.
I walked
Mr.
out of the
Smiley.
station and he's standing there with his wife.
Big up Toots, dog.
Yeah, mate. He was just standing there smiling at me. It was incredible.
How's he
doing?
I
said, hello, mate, how are you? And he went, sorry, do I know you? And I went, yeah, from the Carpenters. I was drinking with you before all that happened to you.
Yeah.
And he went, it was you. Oh, my God, you're the YouTuber. And I went, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Love it.
And
What
he
do you
went,
mean,
oh,
kind
yeah.
of?
So
He
anyway,
flew
I
out.
walked to the stadium with him. Anyway, so, yeah, this guy from ESPN, he was
Yes.
reviewing the West Ham Leeds league game. And although he was very complimentary towards Leeds, he
Yeah.
was no less complimentary towards West Ham, other than pointing out our obvious faults within that game.
Hmm.
And I tell you what, it was Toots is looking good.
Okay.
He he was really unbiased, and
Hmm.
all of the panel, even though I know ESPN's a stateside channel and that, but
Hmm.
they did have a couple of British ex-players on there, and one of them was
Tim Howard.
no. They were both English. These guys,
Okay.
Robbie Muscat was one of them, I think.
Was it?
probably, probably,
The other
and
one was the other one Robbie Earl.
Because it's the two Robbies, isn't it? It's the two Robbies. That's
I
on.
think
That's
it
on.
might have been,
Yeah.
mixed
Yeah. Yeah.
race
Yeah.
guy, Robbie
Yeah.
Earl. He
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
for
Wimbledon.
Charlton, eh?
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Yes, that's who it was. You're right, James. Well done. Well spotted, son. Yeah. And all of them were complimentary towards both teams, to be fair. And I just thought it was a pretty decent channel. I wouldn't mind being able to get hold of that all the time if I'm honest with you.
Over here they call that it is like an ESPN feed, but over here they call it, what is it? NBCN Sports. That's what it's called these ways, because I know exactly what you're talking. And sometimes Don Hutchinson is on it, Tim Howard's on it, like
Yeah.
quality.
Well,
Quality.
there was another. There was who was Clint Dempsey was the other guy that was on there.
The American. Yeah. Don't know.
It was Clint Dempsey,
Yeah.
and Clint Dempsey was the only one that wasn't really pro West Ham. I mean, he didn't say anything derogatory about us, but he wasn't really bigging us up. He was more.
But he played for a London club, didn't he? Wasn't it Fulham? He played at
Fulham,
Craven Cottage, didn't he?
And Spurs.
There you go. Bosh. Yeah, so I can understand why he don't like us too much. Straight up, like.
Actually, I actually quite liked him as a
Brilliant.
player, a decent player.
Oh, I thought Clint Dempsey was good, and I thought who's the boy that played for Everton, and he was like a center half or like a wing back or like a back, and he was from like Australia or
No,
Tim
Cahill. You're about.
Cahill.
Yes, I thought that boy was butter. I thought he was mustard, man.
We can't talk about Tim Cahill though because he's ex-Millwall.
Oh,
We ain't Millwall. We ain't Millwall. We are the Millwall haters. Yeah.
Oh yes, den things and breaded in them, dog, and we ain't about the den, dog. No way.
There's actually a little rendition of We Ain't Millwall in the video I'm releasing later on, Peach.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's like
Live and direct from the Carpenter's Arms.
Love it. And what are y'all singing it? They're like what?
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Love it.
Oh God, yeah.
Man. I used to hate the boy that played for Millwall, and he was like half coach, half player. I forget his name, but like,
Harris.
No, was it?
Neil Harris used to be half coach, half player.
It might be him then. It might be. I thought his name was Quinn or something different, but no, you're probably right. You're probably right, man. And I just remember him being like half like coach, and then he'd come on and like play the football match. James, I gotta ask you about one thing. I know you are like James Fever is very opinionated. I get that. I understand that. That's what we all love about you. 100. But why did you rip into like West Ham so bad? after like the Frankfurt match, dog. Like you wanted Cresswell shot for dead, and like I just want to know what was behind that, my man. Like, yo, you were having to go with them like you were like Harvey Oswald, like trying to like shot off Kennedy, dog. Oh, tell me about it.
Straight after the game,
Yeah.
I'm going to be emotional. We've just
Yep.
lost in the semi-final of a major competition.
Mhm.
The problem is with Cresswell
Mhm.
is that he's done the same thing. He's done the same crime twice in a month. And it ain't like if it would have been a one-off, then I wouldn't have been as bad. But I'm sorry, Peach, mate. Like,
No, you don't have to. Never
yeah,
apologize to me, dog. Never
no,
apologize.
no, no,
Keep
no, no,
going. You got
no.
your opinion,
no.
man.
At
That's
the
your
end of
shit.
the day, right? I'm a very opinionated person because I want this club to win something before I go.
I know.
And you know what I mean? I don't want to be getting to 60, 70, 80 years old. I've never seen West Ham win a fucking trophy. So I'm for me,
I
when
was fortunate enough to see that happen when I was a teenager.
that's what I'm saying. And the
Mhm.
thing is, I've never seen that. All I've ever seen in 35 years of life is seeing West Ham struggle. Now,
Yeah.
when I went listen, if you watch that video back, Pete, at the start, you
Mhm.
see me crying, mate.
You know,
I'm
I know.
literally
I
crying.
remember. I
I'm
remember.
literally,
I
I'm
watched it
literally
like
in
five
bits.
times, dog. I watched it
Yeah,
like five,
like
6 times. Honest.
I'm literally in bits at the start. And for me, people say to me, "Oh, you're too critical, like, and you slag off the team." Listen, I don't slag off the team. I want the team to do well, but if players need to be dug out, they need to be dug out. Do you know what I mean? And it's as simple as that.
Fair
The
enough.
only thing with the Cresswell situation against Frankfurt, for me personally, is the man committed the same crime twice in 28 days. Like, and it was just a massive blow because I think if we get to the final, we win it. And I think it's just the
It
same
cost
old
us
cliche.
the final, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you know, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of respect and a lot of time for Creswell as a player, but as you say, twice in a calendar month, mate, that's
it.
not good enough. That's
It's
the
not.
sign of the player slowing down or losing his game. If I'm honest with you,
It's like, listen, everyone's got their opinion. Listen, I've had many arguments. I've had arguments with Budgie. I've had arguments with every other channel.
Charlie
Yeah,
Boy, you
yeah.
used to have
Right.
proper like
Me and
headbutts with
me,
Charlie Boy,
yeah, but
like that was
one
wicked.
thing I will say about Charlie Boy is afterwards we would go, that was good, and we'd always be cool. Do you know what I mean? Because he knows where I'm looking at it on the side of the fence, and I know where he's looking at it. The difference is with me is when I look at players, I know that West Ham need money spending, and I can see from my own personal opinion that there's not a lot of investment in that team. £60 million for a calendar year for West Ham in the Premier League in the best moment isn't good enough, in my opinion. It's not a lot of money. Like especially when Crystal Palace are outspending us, and other teams are out. Right, when other teams are outspending us. So, going back to what I said about Cresswell,
yes,
I had to Peach. Like at the start of that video, you see me in there. You see Mitchell in there. Listen, Mitchell. Me and Mitchell have got a good understanding. He's a young fan, but he's fucking as passionate as I am. And Mitchell said he's a fucking idiot. It's just as simple as that. But I don't knock Mitchell because when Mitchell's on my channel, I let Mitchell go. Because I'd rather have someone who's speaking from the heart than someone who's just going to keep saying, "Oh yeah, well, it was unlucky." Listen, I'm not going to name no one, but I've seen different people having their opinions. And someone said someone messaged me and said, "Oh, you're too critical. Like you're always slagging the players off." And my attitude to that is, you tell me what he done good in that 19 minutes, because for me, he got sent off. We go 1-0 down, and that was the most painfulest defeat that I've ever watched as a West Ham fan in my entire life. It was like we was helpless.
Let me ask you this: would you have preferred? Because I think you said this in the video. You might not have. It just might be me thinking. But would you have rather gone a goal down rather than him taking the last man back out to get that red card? Yeah,
I would have fancied us to score 2 goals over there with 11. With 10 up, we had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? The game's not dead when the game's not dead when we're 1-0 down, but the game's dead when we're 10 men down,
Mm-hmm.
especially against that team, and we've got to come out and that's what it is, mate. Really, for me personally, why if West Ham were, if the owners were ambitious, this is where I'm very mixed on the owners. That's why I won't go to the fucking ground until they're gone. It's because West Ham shouldn't be in this boat of trying to get players, like scrambling around for players. We've been very lucky in the transfer windows that we've had with the signings that we've made.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson being great, Kafal, who's been cheap but very, very good and reliable. Souček for the money he's cost, Bowen for the money he's cost. I think it's good scouting, but I think we've been very lucky with injuries also. Do you know what I'm saying?
We've had one or two very clever signings as well, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you
have.
think,
I mean,
Fornals is one of them?
Zuma was a very clever signing, in my opinion.
Do you think Fornals is one of them, Budgie?
Extremely.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm very much in that camp. I mean, yes, look, Fornals is capable of a fuck up now and again. I don't deny that. But mate, listen, you're never going to get less than 100% out of that man. Never. You know, even if he does mess up, he's going to put 100% effort in, and he's going to try and, atone for his sins, if you like.
And he loves West Ham. He loves West Ham.
That was the point I was going to come to. You know, the next thing about that man is that he's completely embraced not just the club, not just the boys around him, the team, but he's embraced the whole area around him. You know, like, okay, there have been videos of him in pie and mash shops with interviewers and stuff like that. That's kind of neither here nor there, because that's what people try to promote when they talk about this club, you know, the tradition of the East End and all of that.
But he's there doing it,
living it. Forget that for a minute, though, Pete. It's the videos that you see of him walking down through Westfield with his baby strapped to him, singing, you know, I don't know, Massive or whatever it is he sings, you know, and you know, he'll come up to the microphones when he's being interviewed and sing it and things like that. You know, I mean, come on. The guys have completely embraced the culture of the club.
The way he has taken on West Ham to, like, himself and his family, even his little babe, like even his little Bubba, like he's fallen in love with our club, and you always have to remember that one game at Oxford. I think it was either the League Cup or FA Cup, and he just arrived. It was, wasn't it? And he just arrived here, and he was the only one that wasn't ducking and diving, and he went right up to the supporters and went like that.
But the only thing I will say, though,
and you know what? Hold on, James. I just thought, just let me finish my one point. I thought that showed a man of real strength, because us as supporters, we're no pushovers. Like, we could have been throwing things at him, spitting at him, singing this and that at him. But the fact that he came over and kind of like just put it on the line, I'm sorry, boys. You know what I mean? Like that, you can come in now, James. But that it really stuck to my heart when he did that.
See, listen, I'm not going to be like argumentative or nothing, but I just don't see the fascination with it, if I'm honest. Like, listen, I love West Ham. I love West Ham as much as you boys do, but for me, Pablo sometimes gets a pass in games where he's done not a lot. But because he loves West Ham and he sings Bubbles to his kid, that's the reason why he gets a pass.
I disagree. No, I disagree with that.
No more or no less than Noble has done.
I disagree. I disagree with that, because when Fornals plays, he puts in a shift. Like, he's tracking back, he's going forward, he's 2 steps ahead, thinking like what he started off as a left winger when Spain won like the under-20 World Cup, and like now he's playing flipping like left wing back. Like, I think what Moyes has done with him is brilliant, but it takes a man to take on board what a manager wants you to do, and he has done that.
I just don't think he's a left-sided attacker, mate, if I'm honest.
He's been a left-sided attacker since time.
No, not for me, Pete. Not in the
has been for Spain and like even the club he was at before that.
For me, For me, he wears the number he traditionally is best at.
Yeah,
Best
number 8.
at the number 8 position,
Yeah, like a
in
bit
my opinion.
defensive.
A left-sided midfielder, but not particularly a winger.
But
But
I think when
He's
you,
very, very
but
good at
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I,
But
I just I just feel he's just not. He's not fast enough to be a winger. He don't
oh,
score enough goals as a winger.
he's quick, dog.
But I think as an 8, I agree with that. An industrial midfielder,
No,
I
he's a
feel
workhorse. Yeah.
as a
That's
as
a
a
brilliant phrase. I love that, James. Thank you.
I
I'm
know
going to use that.
Say an industrial midfielder.
that's
Yeah,
what he is,
mate.
mate.
He's a workhorse. He's a work engine. Like, would you boys be willing to? Because I thought what that Tuchel did the other day was absolutely disgusting. Made me throw up in my mouth, man. When he put Ruben Loftus-Cheek on as a sub, took him off to put stupid Barkley on. He could have taken somebody else off. I think that left a bad taste in Loftus-Cheek's mouth. Would you take him as a number 8 at West Ham United? Both you boys. Question posed.
Sorry, say the name again.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
No,
I would every day long. So would your
not
brother.
over Pablo
Me.
Fornals. I wouldn't. No.
Oh, I would. I'd have the both of them, man. Let's get greedy with it. One playing in, it's like having Fabianski and Areola, dog. Like, I'd have one playing in the cup competitions, one playing in the league. I'd buy him. Oh, I would. He needs something new. It's like Lingard. When Lingard came to us, he needed something new. He needed a challenge. That's how I respect your thoughts, you and Fever both, like, about getting somebody like Rashford. I think Loftus Cheek would find a different gear in his makeup, man. I really do. I really do, man.
Bond, you are hilarious.
Listen,
You're fucking hilarious.
No, shut up. Shut me and you
No,
got
I'm talking
beef
to
now.
James Bond. Talking
No.
to James.
Well, I took it personally. So
No, not you.
What did
Sorry,
Bond
I
say?
do apologise.
No, don't ever
I
apologize.
just caught one of James Bond's comments,
What? Go to bed.
and I didn't know what it meant, so I looked it up.
You're Ron
And
Jeremy's
he's hilarious. He's hilarious.
For those that don't know who Ron Jeremy is, he's a very, very like large, famous one of those actors. Like, you know what I mean? He's an adult and he acts. You get what I'm saying?
He's also a rapist.
Yo.
He's also a rapist, right?
And he also has a thing that, like, it's like that, dog. It's like an elephant's trunk, dog. Straight up, man. Yo, big up Happy
see,
Hammer.
the thing is, what James just said in there, I'm not disagreeing with him. Yeah, they work hard, but
Yes.
I think that work hard phrase has got to do more than just work hard. Do you know what I mean? They've got to show, like, Souček covers the ground, granted, but I'll never forget when someone said it in my chat. Souček runs the distance, but Declan Rice runs harder than him. Like, his runs are more effective than him.
Souček is always open, dog. Like, watch the match. His runs off the ball. He's always open. That clearance that he did yesterday or the day before. It's like people forget that about him. Like, he got it out of our end, so we weren't in danger. Like, Thomas Souček, I think he's very, very underrated amongst West Ham fans. I think he's very highly rated outside of West Ham United fans. If I'm telling you.
But if I said to you right now, though, Pete, you can replace him with Calvin Phillips, would you?
Nope.
Well,
That's
where I'll disagree, mate. If we got Calvin Phillips,
what is Calvin Phillips going to offer that Souček can't?
Well, I tell you what, Calvin Phillips won't offer it, but Declan will going forward.
Okay, let's say Declan's gone. Let's say we saw Declan, he's gone. Now you have Souček and you have Connor Coventry or whatever. You're saying you'd rather
Thank you, Souček's head over Declan Rice's head.
But this is where we've got to stop playing the ball in the air, though, isn't it?
Phillips over Connor Coventry, even.
Why?
Like, real talk.
Look at that first goal that Souček got against who was it? Was it Leon?
No, Seville you're on about.
Eh?
You're on about Seville at home.
When Antonio lobbed it over.
I get that, but look at yesterday. We played the ball through the middle, and we're clinical through the middle. I think How can I put this? We used to play like this years ago under Sam Allardyce, long ball, fucking set pieces, and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
West Ham are better than that now. Like West Ham should be going through the middle of teams. Right?
And like you said, they're passing the ball on the ground. Like you said earlier
Listen,
on.
right? We've got all these
We have
passes.
been doing.
Yeah.
Right? We've got all these passes, but we want to play balls in the air. Which, for me, when you're crossing balls in, only Souček who scores headers and Dawson. Right? No one else scored. Like,
The thing is, James, I feel, I mean, correct, you must have your opinion on this as well, but I think that under David Moyes, yes, we are playing some very similar football to the Allardyce era, but we're also playing some, how can I put it?
More sensible.
We're
It's not just
playing
hoofing
kind of,
it. It's not just
we're actually playing kind of Alex Ferguson type football.
Agreed.
As well.
Quick, fast, to the front men and gone. Agreed. And the
Fast running through. You know, we kind of adapt our game in game, if you like, which I actually quite enjoy. I've got to be honest. Yes, there have been quite a few more long balls of late, but a lot of them have been effective, mate. I've got to be honest. You know,
I don't know. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, we've got all these passes, but we're aiming for the ball in the air. It's not exactly like you got Fornals. Everyone says he's a great passer, right? Got Declan Rice, who's world class. Why we shouldn't have to worry about balls in the air? That should be an extra. Right?
It is an extra. Look at the balls that Fornals put through for Bowen to get on to.
Oh yeah, but look at how many times this season have West Ham gone through the middle of teams.
Yeah,
very rare.
Mattered. When he did it, it mattered, and we're
and Fornals has been the one pushing the ball through the middle most of the time.
Thank you very much.
Most of the time, I've got to be honest. Declan Rice has had his fair share of it as well.
Like, see what West Ham Clip said, Butch. He said, "I think if we sign Phillips, it'd be to get the best out of Souček rather than replace him." I agree with that.
But then,
really agree
then you've got to look at it another way. If you sign Basuma, if you sign Basuma, for instance, Basuma is up there as being one of the best DMs in the league, in my opinion. I think he's.
Broja. Are we going to go in for Broja or not?
I hope not, mate. Because yet again, it's the same situation again. It's long ball.
Dope. Broja has skills, man.
I just don't think long ball. I think set pieces we're very good at. We've got a lot of tall people. We've got good set piece players. But I think when we play a 4-2-3-1, we can all agree it's always sideways and back. It's triangles. The last two games we've played 4-3-3 and we've scored 6 goals. Fair enough. I scored 2 against Man City and 4 against Norwich. But when we play 4-3-3, we look deadly. When we play 4-2-3-1, we're 2 byline, touch line, crossing balls into one player. It's just, and over the last, say, 5 weeks, apart from the Lyon game, which we played a 4-3-3 type system away, and against Frankfurt at home, we tried to match up with them and it just didn't work. Do you know what I mean? I think 4-3-3 is our system, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I do agree that I like to watch us when we're playing the 4-3-3. It does seem to be a better looking game, I've got to be honest. I don't know. I just kind of, I know that Moyes tries to adapt to the game he's playing.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that too.
But wouldn't you agree though, Budgie, yeah, when you're playing long balls and you're trying to cross ball into really no one there, like Jared Bowen don't score many headers, Benny definitely don't score no headers, Antonio hasn't scored an header since Southampton away in the FA Cup this year. Right, and we are really aiming for one man, which is Souček. That to me is that's none of finest in a way. I think if you get the ball down, get the ball through the middle, and you've got pace going either side, a bit like how he was last year with Jesse Lingard. You never see West Ham hardly ever put the ball in the air last year because all the balls were going through the middle and he was carrying us up the pitch. So I just feel when you look at West Ham, I think that's a good tactic to have, but I would like us to get the ball down and play through teams because I think we can do it, especially with the players we've got.
Yeah, but then like, even though we had some success with it yesterday in the first half, City nullified that in us yesterday. You know, they kind of cottoned on quickly as to who can and does play the ball on the ground, and therefore we were forced to start playing longer balls. Really, to be fair, because they'd already counteracted our short ball game. You know what I mean?
Agreed, but I thought De Bruyne was kept quiet. Yes,
Yeah, I don't know, because I think we played when we played the ball on the ground.
Muzzle on him, dog.
When we played the ball on the ground yesterday, I thought we was all right. Don't get me wrong, City are a world-class team.
We were. But what I'm saying is City cottoned onto it reasonably quick.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. But I thought
that's what I'm saying, James. I mean, we were effective on the ground. I agree with you 1,000,000%. But City were clever enough to cotton onto it and started out positioning our players at times.
Where was Bernardo Silva? Where was De Bruyne? They were like nowhere to be seen. Like honestly, we like you can say that they cottoned on to our players, but we cottoned on to them players too because De Bruyne was nowhere to be seen. Silva was nowhere to be seen. We had them in the bag, dog. Like
the problem is with West Ham is yes, it's all good having Craig Dawson scoring goals. Don't get me wrong. But we are relying on our centre half and our DM to score the goals if Antonio and Bowen don't score.
Well said. Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? And that to me, you shouldn't be relying on. That should be an extra. Like when your defender scores, that should be a hidden bonus for me. Do you know what I mean?
This is how Moyes
plays. Like in all competitions at the moment, though, James, between Bowen and Ben Rama, there's like knocking on the door for 30 goals.
I think it's so. But listen, Jared has carried West Ham this year, I believe, massively. I think Jared's goals and assists this year have been absolutely first class. And let's be honest, if you take the goals away and the assists away, I don't know where West Ham would be. Because listen, for how much I back Ben Rama up, I think he's had a better season than he did last year. He hasn't been amazing. He's been good from last year to now, but I won't praise him up and overpraise him if he don't deserve it.
But he's had some very special moments as well, though, James.
Oh, you're on about Benny or
Benny? Yeah, he's had some special moments. I mean, that pass into Yarmolenko against Villa.
Yeah, but
that was
there's certain games this year, like the game that stands out for me is Genk away. When he scored, he scored a great goal, the first one. The second one, he roasted the defender and got the second goal. But I've always said Benny's not that player on the left hand side. People want him to be that player on the left hand side. But for me, in a 4-3-3, Benny's effective. Like when Benny was at Brentford, he played with the BMW, Ben Rama, Watkins, and Ramo, and that was a 4-3-3 system. And it's not a 4-2-3-1. You could play him as a 10, but I think he's too light there. I've always said that. I think he's effective there against the lesser teams, but against the better teams, you get bullied. So when West Ham are going forward and West Ham are playing this 4-2-3-1, there's too much rotation, this sideways back. Like I can't remember the game it was. I think it was against Arsenal the other week. And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, fuck me, you're overpassing it, you're overdoing it, and you don't have to do that. And if you've got, listen, everyone says about Souček and Fornals. You've got Souček, Declan, Fornals as a free in midfield. I think that's a pretty good free. I think, and I've always said this, as an industrial midfielder, because that's what I do, class him as. Someone who breaks play up, passes the ball on, got energy, everything, yeah? But that's what he is, in my opinion. He's not an attacker for Fornals. He doesn't, he's better from deep.
Lovely goals, but he ain't specifically a striker, an attacker.
He's not an attacker for me. Like he's better play come from deep for me. Like he gets the ball.
I'll get you. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if you had 3 out and out rapid players up front, so say for example you bought a Jonathan David, you had Jared Bowen. I'm not going to class Benny as fast. I think he can motor, but he's not rapid. Say you got Bowen, Jonathan David, and Antonio, or Bowen, Lingard, and Antonio running forward. That is pace. And I'll tell you the reason why I say this, because last season, when I've seen Lingard in the team, we used to play a lot of the balls through the middle, down the sides, for him to run onto. If you go back and watch the goals from last season when Lingard was playing, a lot of the balls were going through the middle and down the sides. And West Ham were very, very effective. And I always say this, the game against Arsenal last year was one of the best 30 minutes I've seen West Ham play ever. Like, slick. And I just feel sometimes West Ham go back into this sort of long ball, hold up, try and win a corner. Corner comes in. It's very, and if I've noticed when West Ham play against a 3-4-3 system, if they've got three solid centre halves, West Ham are nullified. Simple as that. It's just like three centre halves can deal with crosses. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I get you. Right, what time are we looking at here? 2 o'clock in the morning almost. Flipping hell. Peach, where are you, man? I'm going to have to go soon. I'm going to have to get some sleep. I've got work tomorrow. Been on 2 hours, 50 minutes. My God, man. So, anyway, are we going to win against Brighton, James? Do you reckon we're going to break this curse that we're under?
It's banker draw for me, mate. Absolute banker draw. I'd love us to win. Don't get me wrong. But Brighton are playing well at the minute, I must admit, and they're going to want to perform in front of their own fans. I think it's a banker draw. I think if we can score first, then we've got half a chance of obviously winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we got a goal behind, I don't think it's going to happen for us. But I'd like to be proved wrong. I'm hoping that they can do this because it's been too long now. Like, this team's been in the league for about 5-6 years, and we can't beat Brighton home or away, which is unbelievable. So, yeah, I think it'll be 1-1 or 2-2 or something like that. There'll be goals in the game, definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully Antonio scores one.
In truth, I think Graham Potter has been the best thing that's ever happened to Brighton.
I think they've got some great players, Brighton, mate.
Oh, they got some brilliant players, but I mean, as much as we, admire and revere David Moyes, I think the Brighton fans must do the same for Graham Potter. He's done a brilliant job, and his name's been put in the hat for bigger jobs. He's still at Brighton. He wants to stay at Brighton. He believes in Brighton, and for a manager to have those qualities, James, it's a very powerful tool for the team.
I think he's a great manager, Potter, mate. Not a lot of people rate him for some crazy reason, but look what he's done with Brighton on a low budget. Like, some of the players they've got.
He's been fantastic. I mean, he got what's his name in Welbeck, didn't he? On an absolute steal. He ain't pulled up no oak trees, but he ain't doing so bad with the pine trees. You know what I mean? He's doing all right. He's been a useful addition to the team. And that Lamptey, they got him for next to nothing from Chelsea. And
I think Lamptey, Basuma, Trossard, Cucurella, mate.
Oh, mate, he's turned into a decent player and all.
It's just one player of the year for them. Cucurella. Yeah, and they've got some good players there, mate. I've always said if it didn't work out with Moyes, I'll get him out of Brighton. I think he's the next manager who's going to go to a big club. I believe. I don't think he'll be at Brighton.
I agree with that. I've said that all along. My mate Mark, he's born and bred Brighton. He's only moved up to Crawley 8 years or 9 years ago. And I said to him, who would you like as the manager at Brighton then? Like, if you could have any manager at Brighton, who would you have? He went, I wouldn't want to change who we got. I went, say for argument's sake, Pep Guardiola offered to come there, or Jurgen Klopp, or David Moyes even. And he went, I don't think they would do any better than he is with the budget he's got, with the players he can attract. He said, I don't think that even like a big name like Pep Guardiola would be able to attract names, any bigger names than they're getting already because of the club's history and reputation and whatever. He said, that you're limited to where you can go shopping, really. And I suppose it's been like that for us for many years as well, James,
But it shouldn't be, though, should it?
This year's tour in Europe should open up a few more, options for us, really, shouldn't it? Let's be fair.
Well, it should be. Like, there's no two ways about it. What you just said there, I understand it, but Brighton are West Ham are a London-based club. West Ham should be getting the pull. Like, don't get me wrong, Brighton's a lovely place. Don't get me wrong, but if you had a choice between going to London or Brighton, I think as a foreign player, you'd want to come to London, like as a big city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially being in Europe and all. The only thing that worries me is that West Ham in Europe is amazing, but we just, for some crazy reason, we can't attract no one to the club.
Well, and when we do, it's a one-off, and they're here for a brief moment.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Tevez and Payet, to name just three of them. Oh, and Mascherano, throw him into the mix and all. Ben Ayoun, another great player. As I said, it's like the occasional one here and there, maybe two if we're lucky, and they're not here for very long. What we need is just a player that's going to sustain a career with us, 3 to 5 year stay. Somebody special. It only takes one, really, James. You know what I mean? It just takes one special player to lift the whole squad. We're seeing that in Declan.
I've never seen it with Payet at all. When Payet come in.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Back then, yeah, it was. And, players like Lanzini lifted their game, well, a lot of them did, yeah, the fact that we're losing an icon this season means we need to bring another different style of icon in. Do you know what I mean? We're never going to have another club icon like Mark Noble. Let's be fair. That's never going to happen again. Probably never in world football, But, I think if we could bring in another iconic player, iconic in a different way, iconic in the way that Di Canio was, or Payet was, or, Tevez was, somebody iconic in that respect, it will then lift the atmosphere around the whole club, including those in terraces,
I agree.
So I mean, who was you that mentioned Mbappe earlier? See, now that would be the perfect iconic player to bring in some respects, because it would lift the whole club, everybody's associated with the club. I mean, that's just that's actually a fucking name that we'll never have at West Ham, I don't believe, but a player with that kind of iconic status would be great. Manchester United have done it, haven't they?
100%. Like, for
with
me,
the old man Ronaldo, bless him.
I just think we just need something. We need a star signing, so to speak.
We do. And like, as much as I loved him when he was with us on loan, and I know what he can do for us, I don't think Jesse Lingard is that star signing that we would be looking for. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't really achieved anything that would give him that iconic status. But I mean, somebody like, for argument's sake, now here's another free agent at the end of this season. Somebody like Gareth Bale, the free agent at the end of the season. if we were to bring him in, that would probably be. I know he's an ex-Tottenham player, etc., but I mean, it would be an iconic signing. Do you know what I mean?
Someone like a Rashford for me, young.
I don't think he's achieved anything enough to be iconic, James. Do you know what I mean by that? He's got a lot of potential and he's been a great player, but iconic is a little bit kind of too big for him, if you know what I mean.
Lewandowski or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I would love him there. It would be, even if it was only for 2 years, it would be fantastic. You know, just the same as it would be if somebody like, who can I think of now? Yeah, is a name out of the blue. How about oh God, Tony Cruz. Remember him? German player.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, central midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him as a player. I mean, he's what, 31 or 32 now. But a player like him, I would enjoy seeing come to West Ham. He was great.
I think it's got even. I know what you're saying about they haven't done anything, but even like a Jonathan David would be a star signing for West Ham.
Yeah, in a very different way. But yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we just need that sort of pull.
Ivan Tony would be a star signing.
So yeah, someone along that line. Do you know what I mean? Like someone said to me the other week about Eddie and Nketiah, and I was like, not for me. Not
no.
Yeah, he's a free transfer, but
it's
a different level.
I think, really and truly, I think that he's a little bit too prima donna for my liking, and I don't think he would fit in with the squad very well. I really don't. You know, and that has to be a consideration, James, because look how well we've done with the small squad that we've had, with the amount of connection made up with each other. You can't bring in somebody that's going to tip that balance. That at the moment, David Moyes has got a brilliant balance in the team. And he needs to expand that balance so that the balance remains. And by putting in a player that I believe would be detrimental to that balance, I think would be a mistake.
Do you think though?
No one gets you for me, Doug.
Do you think though Moyes has got the pulling power of attracting these type of players?
Yep.
I do, but if he is with us, you know what I mean? Because of where he's put us and where he's taken us, and how people are now looking at us because of what he's done for us. I think if he was to go to somewhere, say for argument's sake, he went back to Everton, I don't think he'd get many Premiership players wanting to go to Everton.
What about Richarlison?
Wouldn't have him.
Okay, I would.
His ability is there. Don't get me wrong. His ability on the pitch is there.
It is.
It's just what goes on from the neck upwards.
But like Richarlison, I wouldn't take Nketiah. I think he's shit. I think he's garbage. Rashford, I give a go like what Frankie Boy said. That pace would be danger.
I'd rather have Demarai Gray out of Everton, if I'm honest with you.
You know what? Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout whatsoever.
I mean, we made a massive, massive mistake in selling Diangana, Grady Diangana.
Yep, I know.
We made a massive mistake selling him. He was just coming up to the boil.
I know.
But we sold him. So I think Demarai Gray would be the upgrade on Diangana.
Who's the midfield? Who's the midfielder that? Who's the Decourt? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Decourt.
Decore, yeah.
Yeah, Decore. I'd have
I
some of that, dog.
I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin would be a good shout for West Ham.
Me
Yeah,
too.
he would be.
Me
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Me
I
too.
think
Yeah. And the only
he played-
reason I didn't mention him is because I'd forgotten his name.
Yeah.
For me, he plays the exact same way as how we would play. Balls on the ground, balls in the air, and that's a person who would be good in the final third for long balls, crosses, and things like that because he gets in on it. The only thing is with him,
a slightly lighter and much more skillful version of Antonio.
yeah, I think is he a better fin? Yeah, I think I'll agree. He's better finisher than Antonio, 100%.
More
think
skillful
Antonio-
with his feet.
Yeah,
Antonio gets lucky with his feet at times.
yeah, he does.
Let's not deny it. He gets lucky. And he'll stumble and fall and get on the end of a ball and but whereas Calvert-Lewin is a lot more technically gifted.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Certain players like that, that's the sort of player that needs to. That's a star sign in my eyes. If we went out and got,
Rafinha would be a star signing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that. He
I
would.
think the old saying is to get the names on shirts. That's what I'm trying to look at. Like someone who's going to come to West Ham and sell fucking shirts. Like, I just don't get me wrong. I don't see many shirts for Kraut. I mean, or anyone like that.
No, but if you had someone like Chong Long Lee or something from Korea or wherever, or Vietnam or somewhere like that, you'd probably sell 500,000 shirts in the first 6 months of the season.
I'll tell you who I would have, who I was thoroughly impressed with, the Japanese lad, Kameda for Frankfurt. I thought
he was dope.
He's been
really
good.
dope.
He ran the show for them, especially in the first leg. Second leg, he was a bit quiet, but first leg, he
I
ran.
also like that lad that's playing for. Hang on, who is he plays for now?
I think I know who you're talking
what
about.
nationality he is. I think he is Japanese.
I know who you're talking about. Oh,
Is
what's
it-
his flipping name?
Is it Everton or Leeds he plays for?
It's something like that, dog.
Who's that?
I can't remember his name.
Japanese player.
Yeah.
He's bloody useful. I think, what is he, a left back or a right back or something?
And he
isn't
was good in the World Cup too. He was good in the World Cup, man.
Gosh, his name.
I can't remember his name. What about Conor Gallagher? I know that's impossible and it wouldn't go on, but I think he'd be magic at West Ham.
It's only impossible because Crystal Palace are going to fight tooth and nail to sign him on a permanent.
Yeah, you're right.
Just just think about it. Who fucking wouldn't? Do you know what I mean? That boy has been incredible. He scored twice against us in the home leg for us.
Yep.
I was there. I saw it happen. In fact, when he scored his second goal and ran towards the Leeds at the Palace supporters, one guy got so excited he fell over the rut holded and fell down in front of the player. It was quite funny, actually. And then he got escorted out of the stadium by the stewards. I don't know if he was checked over medically, probably. But yeah, that was funny. But yeah, Conor Gallagher, mate. Palace are going to, and Vieira's got that pulling power.
Oh yeah, he does.
Definitely.
Just because the player he was. Yeah.
So what Gallagher is going to sign for him, isn't he?
What do you make though of us being linked with Josh Brownhill, the Burnley player?
I actually quite like Brownhill, and if we're linked to him, then yeah, more power to us, mate. Because I like him. I think
he'd be more of a squad player than like
he's kind of squad player material right now.
Yeah.
But then that's what Bowen was when he turned up.
You're right. Can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
A piece of clay is a piece of clay until you give it to somebody to mould it.
Mm-hmm.
And at Burnley, although Sean Dyche had been there for a million years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what relationship he had with Brownlee, but I do know that if he came to West Ham, it would definitely be a kind of hands-on thing with the coaching staff at West Ham. All players are now receiving it, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't be any different. And every player that's come to our books has improved in some way.
No,
Every
100%.
every
And
player.
the boy that James from the Anvil's talking about, he mentioned him on the show the other day, Kamada. Like he's
Yeah,
dangerous, man. He is and with the shirt sales, you get anybody like Japanese, Chinese, like
yeah.
they have such a following. Like
Well, you remember,
who's the boy for Tottenham? Kim Young.
Leicester. He plays
Oh,
for the
is that it? Is
the
that it? I know who you're
Oriental.
talking about, Doc. I can't
He
remember his
plays for
flipping name.
Leicester.
Yeah.
I
What's his
know,
name?
Let me have a look.
he's not a left back though. He was a striker, wasn't he?
No, actually, I think he's like a
Attacking
winger or
midfielder.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure now. Leicester.
Yes. Yes. That's
Okazaki.
it. That's it.
Okazaki, you're on
Okazaki.
about.
Is it?
That's it.
Is it
Yeah.
Okazaki?
Yep. That's it. That's it, man. And he had a wicked World Cup, man. He tore things up, man. Like he was, yeah, yeah, yeah. I take Vardy though. Like honestly, everybody laughs at me when I say that, especially Budgie. Budgie wants to slap me in my ear hole when I say Vardy, but I take Vardy tomorrow, Doc. Like all he does is when he's
Yeah.
fit, score goals. That's it. That's all he does. That's all he does. Like he did it the other like the past game. That's all he
Yuri
does.
Tillemans, he's a better player than Vardy.
Tillemans is dope. Tillemans is different. Yeah, he's okay.
It's not
Shut
Leicester,
up,
then.
Budgie. You're right again. Flipping
Leicester.
out. Tillemans is dope, dog. Would you take Madison or Tillemans though?
See, you just said
Tillemans.
someone there.
Madison.
If we sign Madison,
Yeah.
that's a star signing for
Oh,
me.
big time. 100%. Big time. Big time. Big
Yeah.
time.
That's a perfect 10, really, if you're honest.
Oh, it is. And we were linked with him. We were linked with him before. Like we could just. Oh, I can't even get into it. We were signed. We were in like to sign Conte when he was only like 500,000 quid, man. And now it's like 500 billion quid, like to sign him, even though he's like close to pushing the Zimmer frame. We were after. I'd take him. And I know Budgie would too. I take Conte in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, dog. Like,
That would be the iconic signing for
yep,
me.
yep, yep. I agree.
I mean,
I
the guy's
agree.
won the World Cup, he's won
Yep.
the Champions League, he's won the Premier League twice, 2 different teams.
Well,
That's an iconic signing.
let me ask you this one then, Budge, before I have to make a move with you.
All right, mate, go on.
Pogba.
No, thank you. Go home. Go home,
No.
James. Yo,
No.
go to bed.
I'd rather
Go to
have
bed
Fred
tomorrow.
than Pogba, if I'm
Too
honest.
late.
God, yeah.
It's too late, James. It's too late. You're
Yeah,
tripping now.
like
You're
I
just
said,
like trying to pull hats out
a
like names
piece
out
of
of the
clay
hat.
is only a piece of clay until somebody moulds it. Pogba is not mouldable. Fred
Pogba, no
is.
way. No way.
Fred is mouldable.
Who's that?
Who's the West Ham
Fred.
centre half?
Oh, I agree with that.
He's
But
mouldable.
Pogba,
By a decent manager, he's mouldable.
yep.
Pogba isn't.
I know.
Pogba's your
Pogba is a
typical guy
diva,
that you
dog.
don't
He
want to
is a
let
diva.
anywhere near the changing room.
Yep. No. He'd
For
be
me.
like Balotelli. He'd be like Balotelli in the changing room, dog. He'd be.
I think he'd be more like the Tasmanian fucking devil. He'd go
I
in there
agree.
and chew everybody out.
He'd be like a Tasmanian devil with like, remember that arcade game Street Fighter? He'd be like Blanca. He would cause issues. Like,
Yeah,
no, thank
He
you.
would definitely cause issues, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100. Would you bring Arnautovic back? Like, I know he's kind of got missing, but if word came out that we could bring him back for like, I don't know, cheapest chips, would you bring Arnautovic back, or would you like say no because his like influence in the dressing room?
Only on a pay as you play and performance rated
Yeah, makes
one.
sense.
Right,
Makes
gents, I'm going to make a move. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Nice chatting with you,
I
mate.
think you should, Doug. After talking about Pogba and thing, Doug, I think like it's getting too late up in Dagenham, Doug.
I
Like,
know, mate. I'm very tired.
nah, I'm playing with
Okay,
you. I'm playing with you. Thank
okay,
you
so
for
that one.
coming on. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on, Doug.
Take
Yeah,
it
man.
easy.
Much appreciated. Yes, James Fever. Ah, my
Yeah,
days.
I'm
Pogba.
not far behind him though, Peach, because
No,
he's
meaning,
like
Brethren, you know what I
two.
got in the oven, Doug? You know, okay, so my dad drove my mom up to the hospital, as I done told you, and bless your mom who's in the hospital too. God bless her.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. And that is heartfelt. My dad at the hospital, there's a place by the hospital I told you about again and again and again, like not online, but just like, when I talk to you.
Yeah,
And that my roti shop, which is like the Eastern uh, uh, um, Eastern Indian rather than like Western Indian, like No, it's not Caribbean. You get like West Indian and East Indian. East Indian's like your Boonas, your Sag, your butter
yeah.
chickens. You get what I'm saying? I ordered a budgie special tonight, dog. I ordered a budgie special tonight, and that's a Sag lamb, and I got it in the oven, dog. So I'm not too far away from like whoosh, either. So yeah, I got that in the oven. I already had like
Yeah,
that's why I
mate.
dipped for like 2 minutes
And
because
and
I
you
had
know
two pieces
something?
of it.
You know my brother-in-law is African, yeah.
Yep.
So one of their staple foods, like
Yes.
is called kenki, right? And
Okay.
they wrap it in corn leaves
Oh,
from
I
the
love that.
corn, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
love
made
that.
from ground down corn, yeah.
Okay.
They go through some process, but it comes out like a paste,
Yep.
yeah, it's like a paste. And anyway, so you cook it, and then you eat it with like stews and things like that. And lamb sarg is the perfect dish
In it.
to
In it.
try kinky with.
And
Perfect.
so conky's what? It's like it's a paste, but
Yeah, well, it's like
tell me about it.
imagine if you'd mixed up flour and water
Yeah.
and you've made a dough. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a dough, but it breaks up really nicely, and it's not a dough because it's not made with wheat flour. It's made with corn, ground up corn, and they go through a process, and it takes about, I don't know, a week or something to make
Okay.
kenki.
Yeah.
And it sort of kind of ferments a little bit, and it's just got this beautiful flavour about it. And I haven't actually, I mean, I fed it to my 2-year-old granddaughter a few years back,
Love it.
and she asked for more from a
That's
2-year-old.
see,
So,
that's like
yeah,
that's beautiful because it's letting youngsters kind of like experience different
yeah,
foods than
yeah.
hamburgers and
But
hot dogs.
this stuff, as I say, it comes like a dough.
Yep.
And then what you do is you break it off with your fingers, or you can cut it up if you want and drop it in with your, lamb sarg. And
Yeah.
oh man, I'll tell you, proper. I mean, it's better with an African stew, which is tomato based,
I love that.
but you can do it with a sarg because I like. I can't even remember the name of this dish that my brother-in-law gets, but it's lamb in
Yeah.
spinach with chili, and it's just really,
Oh,
really
like a
nice.
Rogan Josh.
Well, no, it's more like a lamb sarg, if
Yeah,
I'm
that's
honest.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's more like that, but it's like different flavorings to the Indian flavoring,
Oh, I love that.
um,
Just
African. It's just really nice, and they
yeah.
use a lot of like Scotch bonnet and
Oh
you
yes,
know
please.
hot peppers and stuff.
Like pepper
Really,
sauce.
really nice.
And
Yeah,
the conky or whatever, that sounds kind of like a naan bread or like a roti shell kind of paratha. Like,
yeah. Kenki, and I mean,
yeah,
there's a few
I'm gonna look
different
that up.
ones that they have.
Yep,
There's Kenki. There's one
yep,
called Gary,
yep.
Gari.
How do you spell that?
One,
Sorry.
Gary is Gari,
Okay.
and that's made with cassava, I believe.
Okay.
And then you've got fufu, which is made with plantain, or there's another one that they make fufu with, and I can't remember.
Have you
So
ever
that
had
one
deep
is,
fried? Have you ever had deep fried plantain?
oh God, yeah, yes,
So
yes,
good.
yes, yes.
And then they do like the plantain, like what they call it when they fry it up, the plantain fritters. Oh my days,
Oh
that
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
and your brother-in-law as well as your sister, like they probably eat that like it's going out of
Well, you
style.
see, my sister,
Yes.
since I can remember,
Hmm.
really, well, no, not really since I can remember, but since I was about 14,
Hmm.
my sister has always more or less been in a relationship with a black guy.
Okay. Fair play.
And to start with, it was mainly Jamaican guy.
Hmm.
Well, I say mainly. I mean, she only had two relationships with Jamaican, or three relationships with
Okay.
Jamaican guys
Yep.
over a period of like 25 years or something.
Nice.
Um, and like, so she learned West Indian cooking,
Yep.
and she had her own little restaurant in town,
Lovely.
little takeaway thing,
Yep.
which was quite popular.
Hmm.
Um, and then, you know, as I said, she married a Ghanaian guy, so now she's learned how to cook African style food. And you know, whenever she learns a new way of cooking something or a new whatever, she'll teach me how to cook it because she knows I'm interested. What's
Yeah.
that? Fufu is slang for fake
For,
knockoff stuff in
yeah.
New York.
They say that over in Canada too. Like you're a foo foo.
Oh, right.
Like
Yeah, well, that
you're an
fufu is
imposter.
actually, you know,
Yeah.
in fact, I might even have a box of it out in the cupboard.
Yo, go get it. Go get it.
Right, wait there then. Let me see if
Okay,
I've
we'll
got
do.
it.
We'll do. Cause I'm on the same page as like yo. I want to see the foo foo, but like foo foo here is like foolish, like fool, like whatchamacallit, like imposter, like perpetrator. That's the perfect word. Perpetrator, like foo foo. You're a foo foo, like you're a fool. You know what I mean? But this dish, the budgie is talking about, it sounds like that sounds dope. And then they got this dish in Hawaii called poo poo. Straight up, I ain't even playing with you. It's like some type of sushi, dog. And I remember my father's friend was telling me about that. Hey, budgie, I was telling the people there that not only
Mhm.
they got fufu, but in Hawaii they have a dish called poo poo, and it's
Oh,
like
good.
it's like some sushi type thing, but apparently it's like
Right.
out of this world. It's whoa.
Right, so I said one of them was made from plantain,
You did,
and
yep.
and then there's another one which I couldn't remember. Well, it's cocoa yam.
Cocoa yam. That's like cocoa jam.
Cocoa yam. Hang on, let me
Oh,
just
I
find it.
love
There
it.
it is.
Fufu mix, cocoa yam. Yes, 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 yes.
So this is a really, really light powder.
Yeah.
It comes obviously in. Ah, look at that! I just spilled it all over my sofa.
You dingbat.
Yeah, so it's a really light powder. It sort of almost looks like French chalk. For
Okay,
people
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
do gymnastics or weightlifting or whatever, it kind of it's got that French chalk texture.
Yeah, they
And look,
put it on
I'll
your
just dip
hands
my
before.
two
Yeah.
fingers into it. Look,
Look at that. That looks like cocoa jam. Straight up. Yo.
but it's not very nice if you don't cook it.
I
Um,
love it.
so yeah, you have to cook this, but
Yeah,
with this, with like something like a, you know, a lamb sarg or something
yeah.
like that, you know, it's really nice. Just a different way of eating. You know,
Yeah.
you could make it up into little dumplings if you want,
Oh,
and
yes.
then put them into it. You know,
That's
or
yeah.
you
Go on.
know, traditionally you would cook up a big like a ball of it about the size of say maybe a bit bigger than a baseball,
Okay.
you know, and that would be maybe about half the size of a baseball again.
Yep. You
in
stretch it out or
round.
just leave it in like a ball, like
No,
kind
no,
of.
you have to mix it and knead it and that a little bit
Yeah,
first,
I get you.
and
Yep,
then
yep,
like a ball a bit bigger than a baseball
yep.
would be made like one portion for one person,
It would be
right?
like a bocce ball, dog.
Yeah, but it
You ever heard
really
of
fills
bocce
you
ball? It
up.
would be like a bocce ball, dog. On or
Yeah.
like yeah, like a bocce ball, straight
It's,
up.
it's designed. Well, I say designed. They eat it because it fills your belly,
Love it.
and with the, it kind of it replaces like in Asia,
Mm,
it would be rice that would be the staple diet. Here it
okay,
would be potatoes.
that's what I was gonna
You
say.
know, in
Potatoes. Yep,
America it would be beefsteak
yep. No, one. It would be a Whopper
or
from Burger King. One
fries,
hundred
man.
percent, man. Yeah,
But
but no, I love the diversity, and I love
come on, let's get the
I
wizard on
love
here.
that.
Post the link, bro. Get the wizard in.
Okay, I will. Hold on one second. My man,
I see you
I talked to
creeping
him.
around Mississippi only.
I talked to him earlier on today. I was trying to get him on the show. Your boy. I was trying to get him on the show, but he was like, "Nah, no, I can't even do it. I can't even do like a Melbourne or Australian accent, dog. That's probably the one accent I can't do. I can't do it, and it's like it's weird because it
Oh,
derives from
g'day,
East
mate.
London. There you go. You got it. Like
Well,
I can't do it though. When I do it, I
I don't
sound
know.
more English
You
than
might think I got it. I might think I got it. And Australia
no,
might
you
snap
got
me in the
it,
mouth and
dog.
say,
You got it. But
nah, that's New Zealand, mate.
there you go, Kiwi things. But I talked to Kieran earlier on today. He's like, no, 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 I'm not coming on. I'm not coming on. I was like, why? He's like, because I got to go run around. I got errands to run, this and that. He's like, but I might be back later. So I was like, okay, dope. And yeah, like he didn't know all of us were coming on. He just like I just told him like, here's
Well,
the
it's
link,
later
come
now,
through.
so you're back. He's
Yes, yes.
chatting.
Okay, he's back. He better get on. And Frankie, I'm waiting to talk to Frankie, dog. Like
Latest Bond. Love you,
one
man.
day, it's like the most impossible people to like get on YouTube is Frankie and Happy Hammerette. And I almost had Happy the other day because she called me when I was doing a live YouTube, Budgie, and I know that's your girl. Like Budgie
Right.
has so much love for her. She has so much love for him. Like oh, that's my little sister. And when I come over, we're gonna piss Budgie off so much. He's gonna be like, "You two kids, get the." Trust me, honestly, that's like my little sister. But it's like she called the other day because I was on mute, and she was on my phone, and I was like, "Oh, shit! I could actually like put you on like the microphone so people could hear you." And I was like, "Oh, I got you on the mic," and then she just hung up. And I was like, "Are you for real?" Like I was this close to getting like her talking on West Ham Random, and then Frankie don't like he's the same as Happy, and I respect that. They just
Mhm.
don't want to. They're not like big on camera things. But what they don't
No.
understand are you could just put an image up and just talk and like because I know Frankie's gonna be like top drawer New Yorker, like his brother. I know Happy is top drawer like Chelmsford things, dog. Like
Ethics girl.
as done no, dog. Done no, dog. How do you mean, dog? That's my G right there, man. Like I'm so jealous that you get to like hang out with like all these people, dog. Like you get to hang out with like, hold on, is that the right one? Yeah, it is. You get to hang out with like Gatesy and Lucas and Happy and Duke and all these people, dog. And I'm just like, so jealous, but so happy at the same time, man. Because
Can I
I
tell you
think
something,
all you
Pete?
people are lovely, man. Straight up,
Can
go
I
on.
tell you something, Peach? And just
Yeah,
keep this
please.
between me and you. Don't let anybody else know. Right?
Except for everybody on
So
YouTube that's watching,
everybody
go
on
on.
YouTube, close your ears. Right? Peach,
What up?
I have to tell you, for the
Yes.
first time in my life,
Yep.
meeting all these people
Mm-hmm.
and them knowing who I am and me knowing who they are,
Mm-hmm.
I feel privileged for the first time in my life.
You know what? Because you, my friend, are a good person, and I know it's cliche, but it's like I was saying this to Lawrence Watkins the other day. We had a bit of a hissy fit, and like we weren't talking for a bit, but we talked to one another yesterday. No, the day before. It was, what's today? Monday. We talked to each other on either Friday or Saturday, which was brilliant because, yeah, I don't know, things got turned upside down, which
Yeah,
were
yeah.
in the dryer, but whatever. And it was so good talking to him, man. It was so
Mm,
good talking to him. And then me and Wally got to talk today, which was magic.
yeah,
But I'm just saying the point behind this was there's so many like I've met a couple of dickheads doing this like West Ham random shit, but the good people I've met override the dickheads because I've met so many beautiful people like yourself. You know what I mean? And it's
yeah.
just like it's I'm glad you feel privileged because you should. And like what I was saying about real recognize real, that's what I was saying to Lawrence. I was like, good people recognize good people. And if you're not, you're see-through. And Kieran is a really, really, really good judge of character. Trust me. I know this. I know this. Kieran is as well as yourself, but I'm just saying Kieran's a really good judge of character. So is Charlie Boy. So is like a lot of everybody we talk to.
Yeah.
But it's isn't it good feeling privileged and it good like just crossing paths with people all from around the world, like your Thailand Pauls, like your
Yeah.
Lucases, and then
Yeah.
Rise, and then you got pricks like this, dog. Then you got pricks like this, dog. How do you mean?
Fuck you! Don't talk to
Oh,
me
shit.
about
There
pricks,
you
man.
go.
I'm not
There's
Oh,
my
meant
God,
prick.
to
look.
There's
fucking
my prick,
you
dog.
major
I
fucking
now
prick.
have to
There's
step
my
in and defend my partner in crime.
100.
Yeah,
I
don't
have to
defend me,
defend
mate.
him.
I am a prick.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
it.
you're our prick. If anybody else calls you that, I'm smacking them on the
Yeah.
head, dog. Because you're our prick. You're not their prick. You're our prick, dog. Straight up.
I'll
Oh,
fucking
look.
rhino you. Get that up your
Fuck
clacker.
off, yo. Rhino me. I'll giraffe you, dog. Like giraffe
How
have
you
neck here.
feeling,
Like
Kieran? How you doing, mate? After
Good,
yesterday's
mate.
game and
Yeah,
that.
I've just popped on saying I've got a geezer coming round in any minute, so I'll
okay.
have to shoot off if he turns up. All right.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
mate.
Right.
All
Brighton.
right.
What are we thinking
Yeah.
about Brighton?
Oh, hope for the best, geezer. Let's.
Yes.
We know what we need to do. That's what the beauty about it, boys,
Yeah.
is we're going into the last game of the season knowing that a win could get us Europa League. We know it. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
and then all we need is Palace to get a draw against fucking Man United,
It can
and
happen.
that's
100%.
ours, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's ours, mate. We go through on goal difference. It's fucking magnificent. So at least Moyes and the boys know what they've got to do, and that's a great position to be in. I think we need to go and win.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't, if we're 1-0 down with half an hour to go, we need 2 goals.
Yep.
And we'll go for it. It's
Yeah.
a good position to be in, mate. So
Yeah.
I'm confident. I think we can go down, turn them over, and beat them for the first time ever in the Premier League.
I know.
Happy
I know.
days. Happy
Mm.
days. Who would have thought that? Of all the teams we've beaten, right? Brighton's the one we just can't beat in the Premier League. Fuck me.
I know.
Mm.
Fucking nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, we
Nightmare.
can do it. Fuck me, mate. It's not bad, is it? We're not playing, Liverpool in the last day of the season or fucking Man City. We've already took a point off them fuckers, Man City, last week. So why can't we beat
Last
Brighton?
week, yesterday.
Well, seems like last week, mate. It's
It
fucking
does, doesn't it?
a couple
Yeah.
of days ago.
Yeah.
But great, yeah,
don't say
I'm
that. You're
delighted.
wishing my life away. I was enjoying my memories of being in the stadium,
Yeah, I bet you, mate. I'm
shouting
not
at
joking.
Noble and getting him to wave at me,
Do you know it was?
shouting at Bobby Zamora and Carlton Cole and having them wave to me.
Yeah. No, you weren't. You were just annoying them. You were annoying them, Budge. That's what that's called. Annoying the fuck out of them. Now, it was right. It kicked off at 11 o'clock at night here for me. And me and Kieran were watching it, and we thoroughly enjoyed the game, mate. Really enjoyed it. When that was finished, I was buzzing. I was so delighted that we got a point out of that. And I could have got 3. We could have scored 5 goals. I was absolute because I didn't expect us to win. I thought my heart said a draw, but really my head was telling me we're losing this.
Yeah,
But
you said
to
it
get that
2-2
point,
as well, didn't you?
I sort of said that was my heart speaking, Budge, but I can't really claim that I picked the result.
I really thought we were going to lose. I really,
Yeah,
I
no,
thought we
you
were going to
said
lose that 3-1.
your head said we'll lose, and your heart said 2-2. That's
Yeah,
what you said.
And that's what it was.
well,
That's
Yeah.
what
I
it
know
was.
exactly.
Right.
But you know what I mean. If someone pushed me to put a bet on it, I would have bet we'd lost 3-2. You know, so I can't claim any credit for that.
Kieran, what did you think? What did you think about the almighty Mr. On Fire, Jared Bowen? What
Oh,
tell
mate.
me?
Two
Unreal.
fucking great, to me, 2 brilliant assists and 2 cracking goals.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. I thought even the Antonio assist, he just held up, popped it over the top, straight in his path. The 4 nails where he just snapped, first time, snapped straight over the back of him.
He did
And
that
we
again.
knew, and this is
He
where we
done that
knew
a
they
couple
were.
of weeks back as well, didn't he?
He did budge. He did budge. He'd done it a few weeks ago. That was the first thing to come. He just does it in instinct. Bang.
Yeah.
Because they love to play a high line, Man City. They think they're that good. They can play everyone up front, play a high
When
line.
Cornell
We
does
exploited
stuff
it.
like
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
When
You're right,
Cornell does stuff like that, that reminds me of the time when we did have Mascherano in our squad. That first time, first thought was get that ball through the middle, get it
Exactly.
into Tevez, or in this case, Bowen.
You know,
and
but
get that.
Budge, sometimes,
Get that,
yeah, sometimes that first touch takes that chance away.
Yes.
You know, if he had one touch, Bowen probably runs offside. All right, he didn't. First snap, bang, gone. And he's, you know, and I had to see the replay see if he's onside. He timed the run. He timed the run
He was
perfectly.
marginally onside,
I thought he
literally.
was offside.
I've seen
until I saw the replay, Karen. I really
I've
did.
seen the Sky analysis a bit.
Yep.
And they put the lines up, and it was literally like
just perfect.
That kind of difference.
Timing,
Oh, hang on,
timing was perfect. But say if Fornell takes one touch, then does it,
the
he's
difference
offside.
was
It's
kind
too
of
late.
that.
Perfect.
That was kind of how much difference there was in the players.
Yeah.
Literally about.
I really don't, Budge. I really enjoyed the game, mate. I really enjoyed it, and you know, to be, you know, at the end of the season coming up against the champions, and probably to be champions again, you know, and get that sort of performance. You know, great defensive performance, scoring 2 goals. Could have had 5 goals, mate. We had chances. I thought it was a really enjoyable game. I was buzzing after the game. I was delighted with it. So was Kieran. Kieran was buzzing about it for about 2 days.
He was going nuts when he.
Yeah.
And then Mark Noble came out, and then that just made my head.
Mino, stop giving it fucking large. You were there, you fucking knob. We know.
Pete, put that picture up I sent you.
He can't do that, mate. He'll go frozen and be another hour.
Hold on, where is it? You already know who it is. You already know. Yo, this is
What a result!
What up, brother?
That was mad.
Let's go! Get in! Get in! Get in!
I told you we would win. I'm just enjoying what just happened.
Enjoy it, don't you? Yeah. You just got to enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am over the moon. Mr. Masuaku.
Masuaku.
We are massive.
Yeah.
See you in a bit, bro.
All right, in a bit, mate.
That was one of my favorite videos I ever did. That was honestly, I was just so. That was after the Chelsea match, and
only because Katie K was in it.
Oh, what not? And she came in like out of nowhere. We were like, what the? And then Kieran's like, you know who I am. You know who I am. And she's like, yeah, I know you're Kieran.
I've talked to her for so long, Katie K, when she used to host a show with Bex and American Hammers. Yeah. And I wasn't sure she knew who she was talking to, you know, because I've talked to her for years. But she's lovely. She's lovely, and I have a secret crush. I've got a massive crush on her.
It was fucking
Anyway,
class. It was class. It was
the
absolute
boys,
class. It was.
the
I
boys
Kieran,
turned, the
That's
boys
that.
turned
I
up.
am. I was like, go on, Kieran.
Oh,
Oh
good.
my!
You
You
start
know
out
what?
here,
We'll
Oh,
we'll
that's
we'll,
man.
we'll do a
right.
rekindling of that if and when we beat Brighton, man. We will do a rekindling of that, man. Oh, I would. But Manchester United have to. They have to lose or draw. If they win, it's Conference League for us, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So hopefully
that's it.
Vieira and the boys come through.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I've got to go. My mate's turned up.
Yep,
All right,
Have you brought
indeed.
the
No
beer?
worries.
Yeah, I've got
Talk
the
to you
beer.
later.
What?
love you, mate.
All
You
right.
Yes,
got the beer?
sir.
Hey.
Hey,
Yes.
have
Know
a
the
good
rules,
one,
mate.
Karen.
Don't turn up
Talk to
empty-handed.
you later on, bud.
All right, cool. See you
What
later
was
on.
he saying?
Bye, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Take care.
Love you, mate. Was he saying you don't want to throw up on camera? Yo, listen, that man is a ledge. Absolute
Yeah.
ledge, dog. Oh my days. Okay, Budgie, I'm gonna go eat my sag. What are you
Go for
saying?
that,
What,
man.
what are you doing now? You doing something
I'm
like
going
Green
to
Street
finish
Elite?
editing my video and then I'm going to upload it to the channel.
Wicked. Everybody, Green Street Elite. And it's spelled Green Street. Like that's a no brainer. But
Take
Elite.
the oh no, you can't.
Hold on,
No.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Do I got it on? Hold on. Were you commenting before? I don't think so.
Just yeah, see now, isn't it?
Hold
Yeah,
on
it
one
should be in the comments right up
That's
near the top.
I'm looking. Hold up. But it's Green Street Elite, Green Street like no brainer, and Elite ELITES.
Yeah.
So everybody, like right now, go to that channel, subscribe, like, share the shit out of it.
I'm going
Like
to be uploading a new video soon in the next hour or so.
who's on the new video, Budge?
Well, it's a vlog from yesterday's game.
Lovely,
So it's my little travel vlog to get to the stadium.
lovely.
And then a little bit in. This time round, though, I've done a little bit of footage inside the stadium and a few photographs.
Did you?
And, you know, some stuff from the Carpenter's Arms
Love it.
with Lucas and
Love it.
Bo and Hammerette and quite a few others. I didn't bother Toots with the camera, but he was there.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Toots, I'm glad that he's doing well. Honestly, next time you see him, I don't know, he doesn't know me from a hole in the head, but please, next time you see him, give him a big hug for me and let him know
Mate,
that,
I will
I'm
indeed.
glad he's
He was
back
quite
again.
shocked when I gave him a hug from me yesterday, I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
Bless him.
that's our boy,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
I said to
That's
him that I
our
am
boy.
just
He's
so
one of
happy
us.
to see him. Yeah, man, you know, I was just so happy to see him.
Yeah.
You know, to have,
And
you know, to have an evening, such a good evening with a
yeah,
guy, and then for something so nasty
yeah,
like that to happen
yeah.
to him, it kind of you know, Peach, it shook me.
Yo,
You
big
know,
time.
it shook me for a little while,
I know this.
and yeah. But the reason it shook me though was because I felt useless. I couldn't do fuck all about it.
No, but you're not supposed to meant to feel useless because if you were there, it's like you know how they say everything happens for a reason, Budge. Honestly, if you were there, I think you'd be in the nick right now because you wouldn't have had you wouldn't have had that. You would have
I'd
just
be in
gone
one of
mental.
three places, mate.
That's what I mean,
I'd
and I
either
think
be in the jail, in the
yeah,
ground, or in a
no, you
bloody.
wouldn't have been in the ground, but I think you
Well,
would
you
have been
never know. He
inside
knew he was, wasn't he?
because you were taken by that, and like I think if you were there, like you would have just lost it, like
I
absolutely
probably would, but
lost
you
it.
know, at my age, I'm not exactly that efficient anymore.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
believe that,
I
dog.
still know a
I
bit of
don't
martial
believe
arts
that,
and
dog.
stuff, but
You're
you know,
underestimating yourself. Like my dad's what 70s and thing, dog, and like 60s, 70s type things, dog. I can't even remember how old flipping my father is, but it's like he still has it in him. Like I would never cross paths with him because he'd do me in the ground in a second. And it's like I feel the same with you. Like you still got that bite about you, man. And if you saw what was going on to Toots, you would have just like that's when
I
adrenaline
would
takes
definitely
over,
would
isn't
have
it?
reacted. Yeah, definitely. But then
100%.
you've also got to remember that also on that night I was accompanied by Hammerette.
Yeah,
So
but you know
would
what?
I
She
have,
would have got her kicks in
would
too.
I
I
have
don't.
left? No, but I don't think I would have left her side
Good,
because fear of
good.
anybody going anywhere near her.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I probably
yeah,
would have been
yeah,
shouting and
yeah,
you know, but I would not have
yeah.
put her in danger, and I would have not left her behind.
But
So
if you got stuck in, she would have put some kicks in too, man. She's not no
I don't
walkover,
know,
man.
maybe, but I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I think she's very capable of looking after herself.
Me too.
But as far as getting involved in something like that's concerned, I'm not sure. That's not really her character.
But
I'm
that's good
more
on
the
your
one that
part.
wants to wear the cape, you know.
No, but that's good on like Budge. Like that's good on your part because you wouldn't have left her side, and that's why she loves you so much, my G, because you have that like what's it called? Um Unconditional love. I think we all have a bit of that. You know what I mean? And you have that with her, and I love that. I love that. And Toots,
Mm,
I'm so happy that he's on the mend. Um, because
yeah,
I know
me too.
how affected you were by it. I know how affected Cam was by it. I know how affected Happy was by it, and a lot of the supporters were affected by it, but
Yeah,
not in the same
all,
way because
all
you
of
were
the
with him.
parties
Like
did.
what? It was like 10 minutes before that. You were with him, having drinks, smiling, laughing, talking, and then that happened.
Taking
That's
photographs together and all sorts. Yeah,
oh, I love it. Please send me that, man. Please send me that.
I'll have
Please,
to
and
dig through the other phone and send them to you. I'll send them to you on my old WhatsApp.
yeah, please do. I got both
Yeah,
of them. But
yeah,
who was the other boy? Bose. That's the boy.
yeah,
Yeah. What a
yeah.
legend.
Great. He is good.
What a
And
legend.
he's a fantastic chant conductor, as you
Really,
will see in my next video that comes out tonight, later
I love
this
that.
morning. Later this morning.
I love that. I know because I keep forgetting. It's like what? It's almost like it's 10 to 10 these ways,
Yeah,
but
check
that's like 10 to 4 in the morning
three.
your ways. It's
10 to
mad.
3.
Oh,
10 to
sorry,
3.
10 to 3.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
Are you sure
Huh?
10 to 3? 11, 12, 1, 2? Oh, you're right. Piss
Yeah,
off. You're
great.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I'm
You're
looking
right.
at my clock. Of course I'm
I
right.
know. I know. You're right. You're right. Because like I'm trying to work it out because like in the morning times we get the 10 o'clock matches and those are at 3 o'clock. So that's why
Yeah,
I was like, it's yeah. So I was wrong. 10 to 10. That would be 10 to 11. My bad, idiot. Yeah. Oh, and just to like fill you
yeah,
in and everybody else, the reason why it wasn't on purpose why I wasn't here in the beginning. First off, I got these new earbuds, right? For my new phone that I got. And I couldn't find them. Like I had them, I was showing my dad them, and I was trying to pair them up with the phone at first, and that's why you heard echoes and all that thing. And I tried to pair them up, but then they pair up like on YouTube, but they won't pair up on StreamYard. So it's just like probably one click of a button, pair them up, I'm good to go. So I couldn't find those things. I'm looking all over my apartment for them. They're in my back pocket the whole time. And I went on a rampage, like trying to find them, looking under the bed, looking in my bed, looking on the side tables, cabinets, everything, like dressers, like shelves. I was looking for them like mad. So then I find them, and in the midst of finding them, I drop my mouse, like from my computer, which me like lets me like go through the comments.
yeah,
Battery falls out. Now I can't find the battery for my mouse. Couldn't find that for like half an hour. Then my dad's at the hospital. He's at the roti shop. He called me up like 10, 15 minutes before saying, put your order in so when I get there, I can order it. And I was doing all this whilst I was supposed to do that. It was like an hour and a half of madness. Like, I have to watch what you, James, D'Anville, and James Fever were all talking about in the beginning because I didn't see or hear a thing of it. So I gotta watch that back. But I thoroughly enjoyed when I got back. You were patient enough to like still be here, talk to the people them, and James was, and James the Anvil left. Lucas, I think he had to leave because he tired, maybe wanted to go have a kip.
yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for it. It was
Oh, mate,
it
all
was
good. All good.
unintentional. Thank you for holding it
No,
down,
hey,
though. It
listen,
means
it's
so
all
much
right.
to me, man.
Right, I learned a few things tonight, so it's all good, man.
What'd you learn? Peach is a dickhead? There you go.
No, mate.
Peach is a dickhead.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Peach
mate.
is a dickhead, dog. But it was unintentional. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It was
You know what
unintentional.
I've learned? Let me tell you what I've learned tonight.
Okay, I'm just playing, by the way, but go on.
A roundabout is still a roundabout, doesn't matter which direction you approach it from.
And a lamb sag is a lamb sag, no matter if you have roti with it or a conky with it, dog. Straight up.
That's the one.
There
That's
you
the
go.
one. Hey,
Budgie,
listen,
go on.
love you, man.
Love you too, my man.
And give my love to Mama Peach now, please. Well,
And
no, I
please,
wouldn't speak to her.
you give my love to your mom as well as
Always, bud,
please do.
always. Yeah.
Please do. And yep.
Tell
Go on.
Pop to stay strong, man, you know?
Yeah, it's nuts because I said to my dad, I was like, I'm a bit concerned, and you know what his response was? You should be, and it was like that's when it kind of hit deep, like fucking hell, this is real,
Yeah, yeah.
like yeah. So because she has not been the same for like 4 or 5 days, man, it's not been her. Like
Right. Similarly to my mum.
nah, 100. Yo, before we go, one person wants to like come in and say what's up to you still.
All right, go on. Go for it.
Well, he's in here, but he's not in here. What the hell?
Oi, oi.
Hold on. There you go. There you go.
It's not coming up on my picture. I don't know why.
Who's that,
Yeah,
Budge? Who's
hey,
that? Oh,
right,
that's the
Reece,
other
how are
prick.
you,
We
mate?
got one prick in
Yeah,
Melbourne,
not
and then we
bad.
got a pricking,
Yeah.
whatchamacallit, Peterborough, dog.
Yeah. I thought I'll pop in and say hello because I saw you were still live.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Budgie.
I'm just about to slide out, but yeah, I'm still here for the moment.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to be up
I
too long.
what I want to do is I want to finish editing my video before I have to actually prop up my eyes with a matchstick and that, you know.
Yeah, you got work today?
Yeah, mate, all day.
Have you slept much?
No, not yet.
Oh, God.
I haven't got to start till midday, though, so that's all right.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, mate.
But yeah, I'm
This
fucking
is like having a radio phone in, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is. I like this. It's quite cool, to be fair.
I wonder if there's an actual setting you can do that.
What,
Because
like,
then there
isn't
would
that
be
like a
more people
podcast?
inclined. More
Yeah.
people would be inclined to join in if it was like this.
That would be like a podcast, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. You need to do that.
Kind of. It'd be like Talk Sport, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where they have the studio presenters and then they have people phoning in. But whereas we could do it with like people using the internet to call in.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to check see if there's a setting for it. Yeah.
What's that? Just for like what?
On
Like, what would it be called?
StreamYard, if you can do exactly what we've got going on now with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
That would be nice, man.
Yeah, that would be nice. It would. Remember the movie? It was like it was called like Pump Up the Volume, and I think it was like Christian Slater in it.
Oh no, I haven't seen it, but have you seen that down the bottom?
Pete's new name is Plum. No, it's Plum. It's Plum Papaya, dog. How do you mean? You got it's PP.
I don't know. Right,
Plum
yeah, I'm going to hop off because I'm going to bed because I'm knackered.
Yeah, don't mind, man. Well, I'm gonna finish this video.
Okay,
I've got about half an hour of work to do, and then I'm gonna send it up into YouTube land.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Peach, we'll run 2 things tomorrow or something, mate. Yeah.
Don't know. So things.
So hopefully I got nothing on tomorrow.
Right.
What are we, dog?
Reece, big up yourself, mate. Pete, big up yourself. Everybody in the chat, big up yourself. Those that have been in and gone to bed and whatever. Love you all. Take care. Those of you that are gonna watch this later, thank you for joining. Thank you for going through 3 hours and 53 minutes. We love you all.
Budgie,
Go on,
what
mate.
are we, dog? What are we?
We are extremely large and fucking massive.
Rise, what are we?
Fucking massive.
There you go.
We are fucking massive.